You're watching Memphis Redbirds baseball on CW30. It's a perfect night for baseball in the Bluff City, so let's get right to it. Memphis Redbirds taking on the Columbus Clippers. Happy to have you inside AutoZone Park and just a beautiful night for baseball. Alongside Justin Galanti and our entire outstanding Memphis Redbirds crew, Evan Stockton with you. We are in the midst of the longest homestand of the year for the Redbirds. This is game 11 out of 12 here at AutoZone Park. They took 4 out of 6 against Nashville last week. So far this week, they've split 4 games against the Columbus Clippers. Really nice 4-2 win for the Redbirds last night. Spoiler alert, Juan Yepes hit another home run. And tonight, Justin, we've got a really nice pitching matchup. Heath Philmeyer is on the mound for Columbus, a guy who is very well traveled in his professional career. And on the other side for the Redbirds, it's Connor Thomas, who's been their best starting pitcher all year long.
Yeah, Philmeyer's a guy who spent some time in the major leagues with Kansas City. He's had a tough year with Cleveland, but he strikes out a lot of batters, so he's tough to face. Connor Thomas has been the Birds' most impressive starter throughout the year. ERA well under 4. He works quickly. He throws strikes. He's a fun guy to watch pitch.
Yeah, now he's looking to bounce back from a tough outing last week here at AutoZone Park. No better time to do it than right here and now. And look, when you're calling games in AAA, you're going to see a lot of future stars here at AutoZone Park night after night after night. And the great thing about this week has been, whether it be for Columbus, Nolan Jones, Gabriel Arias, for the Redbirds, Nolan Gorman, Juan Yepes, they're all playing great all week.
They really are. And this Redbirds roster, with the addition of Nick Plummer earlier this week, 7 former first-round picks on this team. You barely see that anywhere at any level of baseball, even in the major leagues. But yeah, the prospects have really showed out this week. Nolan Gorman hit a home run. He's got a couple doubles as well. We've been really impressed with Jones and Arias, so it's going to be fun to watch tonight to see who can take the lead in this series.
Yeah, we're going to see who takes a 3-2 lead in the series before we wrap it up tomorrow afternoon. Glad to have you at AutoZone Park on a perfect night for baseball. First pitch from AutoZone Park in the Bluff City is next. What a night for baseball at AutoZone Park, the last Saturday night in August, and the Redbirds are looking to send it off with a victory over the Cleveland Indians-affiliated Columbus Clippers. So glad to have you tonight on CW30 alongside Justin Galanti and our entire excellent here at AutoZone Park. Evan Stockton with you. All right, so Brendan Donovan plays second today as Juan Yepes goes back to first. You saw Kramer Robertson, he's at third. Evan Mendoza at shortstop. That is a mean left side of the infield. Here's the entire starting lineup for the Redbirds. Nick Plummer, who's still in his first week in the call-up to AAA, he's playing left. Connor Capel in center. Alec Burleson, who had an awesome night in right field last night, he's back there tonight. Dennis Ortega, the battery mate, for the starting pitcher for the Redbirds, Connor Thomas. We told you in the open that Connor has been the most consistent starter this year for the Redbirds. His ERA is 3.63. But Justin, as we also mentioned in the open, he's coming off his worst start of the year on Sunday against Nashville. Time for Connor to bounce back tonight.
Yeah, it's really interesting. As you said, Thomas has been so good this year, but his numbers at AutoZone Park are not good. 5.5 ERA in just under 30 innings. On the road, his ERA is 2.3 in nearly 40 innings. So you hope he can have a good start here tonight. He's had some good ones at AutoZone Park this year. This is not really a heavy-hitting Columbus lineup, so you think a good chance for Connor to throw the ball well.
Let's hope for a bounce back tonight, and we kick this one off with a fastball strike on the inside corner. Right on time tonight at 6:35, 91 degrees at first pitch. Alex Call, the leadoff batter, and he's down in the count 0-2. Call, Brooks, Gonzalez, the top 3 in the lineup for the Clippers tonight. The third batter, Oscar Gonzalez, is really the guy you must keep your eye on in the top 3 batters for the Clippers. He homered yesterday, and he's been very, very good all week. This one will roll foul, and Call's going to have another 0-2 pitch. So before that bad start on Sunday for Connor Thomas against Nashville, before that outing, his entire year had been the model of consistency. Aside from one other bad outing on July 30th against Gwinnett, He's allowed 3 runs or fewer in all 12 of his appearances since the middle of June 11th. His 0-2. Soft ground ball. Robertson fields at third. And he got him by half a step for the first out of the ball game. Put Kramer at third. Put him at second. Put him at short. Put him wherever you want. He is a mean defensive baseball player. And a nice job by Juan Yepes at first, getting there in time and stretching out to get called by half a step. Juan has played some third in this series, but he's much more comfortable at first. Good start to the at-bat for Thomas. His raw stuff is not going to wow you. The fastball will sit maybe 92, 93, but he's a throwback in every sense of the word. Works quickly, locates, tries to dictate the tempo of his outing. He's also a guy who pitches to contact more often than not. 59 strikeouts in 67 innings this year. Right on cue, ahead on the batter, 1-2. Crowd filing in on a Saturday night. Our second to last Saturday night game. We'll have 2 more Saturday games after tonight, but one's in an afternoon. Wave and a miss. First strikeout tonight for Connor Thomas. An excellent beginning to his outing.
Right fielder, number 45.
That is a pitch with good tailing action. Caught a lot of the plate, but Brooks swings and misses at it. Okay, here's Oscar Gonzalez. We told you about the home run yesterday. He had 4 hits, including another home run on Thursday. This week, Oscar Gonzalez has been a bit of a one-man wrecking crew. 8 hits in the first 4 games of the series this week. Redbirds won last night. Close ball game, 4-2. Columbus had won the prior couple of nights. Memphis won the opener on Tuesday. They scored 8 runs in the first inning on Tuesday night. Feel like you need to time Connor Thomas and how quickly he throws after getting the ball back. The man does not mess around. Gonzalez takes a strike. Outside ball 4, Oscar, who's a free swinger, doesn't walk a whole heck of a lot. He just walked. That's his second walk of the week and just his 18th walk of the season between AA and AAA.
Yeah, and Gonzalez is kind of your classic bad ball hitter, right? He's somebody who can hit it, whether it's in the zone or out of the zone. And like you talked about, from what we've seen out of him this week, certainly somebody to be careful with. This guy's a really good hitter as well, Nolan Jones, but it is a lefty-lefty matchup, which gives Thomas an advantage.
Now, Nolan Jones is one of the better prospects in the sport, one of the best prospects in the Indian system. Has a hit in every game this week. The last 2 nights, he has been feeling it. He's 5 for 9 the last 2 nights. A little bit low and in, and the count evens up on Jones. The 23-year-old from Bucks County, Pennsylvania. 55th overall pick by Cleveland in the 2016 draft out of Holy Ghost Prep.
Usually you only hear about Bucks County around election time, but
Right.
Nolan Jones is making another name for that part of the country.
Who was the big board guy? Kornacki?
Yeah.
The one who they put on Sunday Night Football late in the year to break down playoff scenarios in the NFL?
Did the Olympics too.
The man's profile has skyrocketed. A big ambassador for khakis. Strike! Oh, man. Nolan Jones can't believe that call. Connor Thomas will take it. Travis Godek, our home plate umpire tonight. David Arrieta down the third base line. Tom West down the first base line. I think Jones had a gripe there. Let's see if Connor Thomas can take advantage and put him away. Not on that pitch. Gabriel Arias on deck. Two top 5 prospects in Cleveland's system are batting right next to one another in the lineup tonight. Arias has hit some balls hard this week. As Justin said a few minutes ago, this is not a Columbus lineup overall that is the most imposing that Connor Thomas has faced all year, but there are landmines. Ball 4, and after a good beginning for Thomas, back-to-back walks, have 2 on and 2 out.
And walk issues are not usual for Connor Thomas. But you can tell based on the pitch selection, he didn't really want to mess around with Nolan Jones, right? That's a breaking ball on a 3-2 count. And now you do deal with Arias, but you can sometimes tell what's in a pitcher's head based on what he's using. And when you see 3-2 breaking ball in the first inning, that shows you, I don't really want to let this guy beat me.
Yeah, that's now 19 and 20 walks this year for Thomas. 67 innings before tonight and just 18 walks on the year. Let's see how he attacks Arias. Lace to center by Capel. This is trouble. Gonzalez in. Jones around third. He scores easily. 2-run double for Gabriel Arias. He just beat Connor Thomas and gave the Clippers a 2-0 lead.
After back-to-back walks, Arias thought he would get a pitch to hit, and he did. It was a very, very odd route out in center field by Connor Capel. He broke in and to his right and then had to go back and kind of to his left a little bit. I don't know if he could have gotten to it if he broke correctly immediately, but Capel did not read that ball well off the bat. He's not usually a center fielder. He's out there tonight. And the ball hit right at you, they always say, is the hardest one to judge. And this is going to be another one.
Benson just demolishes this ball. Another run is coming home. Benson around second. He's on his way to third. Head first sliding safe. RBI triple. Gabriel Arias is in. And the Clippers are rolling.
And now you start worrying about if this first inning is kind of a bugaboo for Connor Thomas, right? 10 runs in the first inning in his last 2 starts. That one, Capel had no chance, as you said. That ball was smoked.
Will Benson, when he hits the ball, does not get cheated. Pitching coach for the Redbirds, Junior Roscoe, is out toward the mound. And, yeah, Justin, if you're Connor Thomas, it's just human nature. You've got to be thinking right now, are you kidding me? I get the first 2 outs of this inning. All of a sudden, walk, double, triple. I've given up 3 runs. And all those nightmares from last weekend are reappearing here this weekend.
Right, and it goes back to the age-old saying in baseball, right? You can't walk people. We talked about the pitch selection against a couple really good hitters in Jones and Gonzalez, but how often do you see 2-out walks come back to hurt a pitcher? 2 2-out walks, they both come in to score, and now you're in danger of kind of falling out of this game in the first inning.
Already 21 pitches for Connor, and a line that he doesn't like. The good news, Andrew Monasterio is up, and he struggled all week. He's just 1 for 11. He did homer on Thursday night, had the night off last night. That stretch right there, Justin, in this Columbus lineup, 3 through 6, that's going to be the trouble spot all evening, and they just did a lot of damage. You got Gonzalez, who's batting near 325 between AA and AAA this year. Jones, who's a top prospect in the sport. Arias, who's a top prospect in the sport. And then Benson, who's a former first-round pick. They just went walk, double, triple, and gave the Clippers a nice early cushion. Now it's time for Thomas to respond. Strike 1 to Monasterio.
And you said earlier, right, Thomas doesn't have the kind of stuff that jumps off the screen at you. So that means he needs to locate, and that whether that's in the zone or out of the zone, there's a difference between control and command, right? Control's throwing strikes, command is throwing strikes where you want to, and Thomas needs command.
Gets the count back here to 2-2. Columbus has had some really nice offensive nights in this series, highlighted with a 12-run, 17-hit game on Thursday night. Had 8 more hits last night. They're done in the first tonight. Monasterio swings and misses. That's our second strikeout of the ball game, presented by Slurp, alcohol-infused gelatin. But it's a great start for Columbus. They're up 3-0 right out of the chute.
Please play responsibly.
Beautiful night for baseball at one of the crown jewels of minor league baseball, AutoZone Park in Memphis, Tennessee. The final Saturday in August. College football season officially started today. But here at AutoZone Park tonight, we're just thinking baseball. Great start for the Columbus Clippers. They got a 3-0 lead as their right-handed starting pitcher, the native of New Jersey, grew up about 35 miles from Philly. Heath Fillmyer getting the start tonight for the Clippers. Drafted by the Oakland A's in the 5th round of the 2014 draft. This is the defense behind him tonight. Jones and Arias, 2 top prospects on the left side of the infield. Gonzalez in right, Benson in center, Call in left. Those 2 guys will man a ton of ground and grass in the outfield tonight. Left-handed batter, former first-round pick Nick Plummer at the plate to kick off bottom 1. This one in the air to center. No problems for Will Benson. Plummer first pitch hacking, but there's one gone in the bottom of the first.
And for Fillmyer, this is his first start in a couple weeks. He's been working out of the bullpen, but his Columbus roster had 2 of its starters called up to the major leagues this week, so Fillmyer's back in the rotation. They had to use an opener in a bullpen game on Tuesday. Clippers are doing the same thing tomorrow. So a guy with an ERA of over 7.5 this year gets the start. I feel like the Birds could score some runs tonight.
Kramer Robertson takes strike 1. Yeah, Justin, you'd think on paper that Heath Fillmyer is a matchup that's going to make the Redbirds get excited when they come to the plate. Last time Fillmyer started was actually a couple of weeks ago against a really good Toledo lineup on the 14th, and he was really good. 6 innings against the Mud Hens, and Fillmyer only gave up 1 run on 4 hits. He had 8 strikeouts in that outing, and he's struggled since. A couple of really lackluster relief outings. Last time Fillmyer pitched, gave up 5 earned on 6 hits and 2 1/3 at Omaha last Sunday. Good hitters count for Kramer here. It's 3-1. This one is ripped to right. Down. Gonzalez cuts it off. Kramer takes advantage of a 3-1 pitch down the pipe, and the Redbirds have their first base runner.
That's such a beautiful swing from Robertson. As you said, fastball count, got a fastball. He was right on it, shooting it the other way. And I don't know, it's a warm night. Beautiful night. Feels like it might be a good one to hit, as Columbus got a couple runs in that first, and see if the Birds can match them.
Always feels like a good night to be a hitter when this guy's at the plate. Nolan Gorman, the top prospect in the Cardinals system. Big hack, and lines it back to the screen. 2-hit night for Gorman last night, couple of singles. A double on Thursday night. 2-run home run in his first at-bat of the series on Tuesday night. It's a tough task for Fillmyer. Another big hack for Gorman. Now he's down in the count 0-2. Couple of good swings off Philmeyer to start tonight for Memphis. The hard line out to center by Plummer, and a sharp single for Robertson. He's the guy at first. Nice block by Mike Rivera. All week long, Justin, Mike Rivera has really worked hard behind the plate. He's an excellent defensive catcher.
He really is, and both catchers really for Columbus have done an impressive job behind the plate. Rivera has split time with Gavin Collins behind the dish, and they've saved a lot of bases for these Clippers pitchers so far this week.
Throw to first to keep an eye on Robertson. His decision not to slide nearly backfired. That pickoff throw was coming right for his batting helmet.
Does it become a running helmet when you're on base?
That is another great question that we just have to answer. I think it's still a batting helmet. But I get your point. Big hack for Gorman. Goes down swinging. He was not getting cheated on his swings during that at-bat.
95 up and in from Philmeyer, and Gorman just couldn't quite get to it. It's a well-spotted pitch. Gorman's a fastball hitter, but Philmeyer put that in a spot where he just couldn't get to it.
Here's our Nobody Trashes Tennessee cleanup hitter. It's Juan Yepez, who we say without exaggeration may be the hottest hitter in baseball right now. Another double and another home run for the right-handed hitter last night. 500 batting average for Juan Yepez last week against Nashville. He had 4 doubles in the game against the Sounds on Sunday. Pitch to him at your own risk right now. Got to keep an eye on Kramer Robertson at first base. Heath Philmeyer hoping for a bounce-back outing tonight. Tough to bounce back when this guy is rolling at the plate like he is. Throw over again. I don't think we've seen any pitcher all year be as concerned with Kramer Robertson at first base as Heath Philmeyer is.
Yeah, the Birds are not a team that runs much, but Philmeyer, when you throw over to first base, it's sometimes not about the runner. You try and mess up the timing of a hitter, right? If you're standing up there and the pitcher keeps throwing over and over, you get anxious at the plate.
Strike 2 to Juan Yepez. It's a good pitch sequence for Philmeyer. Starts him off fastball inner half, then goes fastball outer half, and now Juan's behind in the count. 95 on the last fastball from Philmeyer. Let's see if he sticks with it on an 0-2 pitch. Little looper. No problems for Monasterio. And the inning's over. Juan Yepez held in check for now, and it's all Columbus after 1. One of those nights where you just belong at the ballpark. Sunny blue skies with a few patchy and puffy white clouds in the sky. Looks like the wallpaper on Andy's bedroom in Toy Story. 8-9-1 due for Columbus as we start top 2. The former Florida Gator, Mike Rivera, leads off against the former member of the Georgia Tech baseball program, Connor Thomas. Connor's hoping for a bounce-back second after a very rough first. He got the first 2 outs of the inning in order, and then the troubles began for the left-handed starter. Walk to Gonzalez, walk to Jones, 2-run double for Arias. RBI triple for Benson, and it felt like before Connor Thomas could blink, he'd given up 3 runs. Chance to bounce back here in the second. Not a good start to this at-bat against Mike Rivera. Rivera known more as a defensive catcher. He's played some excellent defense behind the plate in this series, but he had a good night at the plate. Count fills up on him. Earlier this week, Mike Rivera had a 4 RBI game. 2 for 4 on Thursday night, 2 separate 2-run singles. This one hit pretty well to right center. Long run for Connor Capel. He's there, crashing into the wall. Nice play, Connor Capel. Some good D helps out Connor Thomas.
And you hope maybe that can give Connor Thomas the opportunity to take a deep breath here, right? 3 in the first inning against him, 3-0 count to the first batter of the second inning. But you're able to come back, get the out. Capel makes a nice play for you. Hopefully that'll allow Thomas to sort of settle into his outing here.
Tough to get in a groove when Connor Maribel's at the plate. He has 2 hits in each of the last 4 games. 2 more singles last night. Justin, we talked a lot in the first inning about Connor Capel, a corner outfielder playing center field tonight. Took a bad route to the ball in the first that turned into a double for Gabriel Arias. Next pitch to Maribel, line back. But that one was a very good read right off the bat by Connor Capel, and that's what you have to do when you're playing center field. You better read it well right away.
And as we talked about, the hardest ball to read is the one right at you. That was sort of what the Arias ball was. It's hard to tell if it's in front of you or over your head. That one was to Capel's left, and as you said, tracked it perfectly.
Another base hit for Connor Maribel. He is now 9 for 16 this week. You talk about swinging it well.
Yeah, and Maribel's not your typical 9 hitter. He's been with Columbus all year, and he's hitting almost 300. But he's just squaring up baseballs like nobody's business here. And Connor Thomas is a guy, look, he has to work ahead in the count, and he has to locate his off-speed stuff. He's a guy who's not going to be successful if he's in too many fastball counts, and that's been an issue today.
Good start to the at-bat for Call. Former Ball State Cardinal grounded out to third base to start the game in the first inning. Big wide open stance for him. One of the beauties of baseball is that you get different and unique batting stances. You get a lot of open stances. You don't see many open stances that are also crouched like Alex Call's. We all grew up emulating certain batting stances. Even though I was not a righty batter, I was a lefty. I would do the Gary Sheffield all the time. I tried it in a game once, and I struck out on 3 pitches, so I stopped doing that. 1-2 to Call. Do you have a favorite batting stance growing up, Justin, to emulate?
You know, when you hit as well as I did coming up, your own batting stance is your favorite.
Runner goes. Wave and a miss. Throw to seconds wide left. It's a good pitch to run on for Maribel, a biting breaking ball like that. Still, though, nice pitch for Connor Thomas, and he's 1 out away from a sorely needed scoreless second inning.
And in all seriousness, when you talk about batting stances, it's just about, what position you get to hit. But when you start that far open like Call does, you're stepping in towards the pitch. When you have a breaking ball coming back down and in towards you, you can sort of jam yourself, and it can be difficult. And so that's why that was a really good pitch for Thomas. In terms of batting stances growing up, I think Sheffield was the one that we all kind of messed around with in the backyard.
You make a really good point about batting stances. If you ever took a batting lesson in your life, and Lord knows I took one too many, it doesn't matter where you start. It just matters where you end up. Are your feet even? Are you in a position to hit with your bat cocked toward home plate? Really, you just don't want to be in a stance, as you say, that can make it harder for you to hit certain pitches in certain areas of the strike zone. rare to see Connor Thomas have trouble locating like he's doing tonight. He's done 43 pitches and just 24 strikes. Usually he's a guy who attacks the zone with encouraging regularity. Three and up to Trenton Brooks.
Yeah, this is a big at-bat, right? You have that heart of the order that we've talked about. Gonzalez, Jones, Arias after this. So Brooks is a guy you really want to get right now.
He struck out swinging back in the first. Thomas is going to have to do a lot of work to get a strikeout here. Good start on the road back. Are you seeing anything mechanically, Justin, from Connor Thomas tonight that isn't allowing him to attack the strike zone like he normally does?
No, I think it's kind of an obvious answer, right? When you get hit around the way he has his last two starts, you're a little bit gun-shy about throwing the pitch over the plate.
Late time call. Remember, Connor Thomas gave up 7 runs in the first inning on Sunday against Nashville. Was pulled after 2/3 of the inning. And tonight, he gave up the 3 runs in the first. Got the count back full on Trenton Brooks. All those runs in the first inning as well came with 2 outs, and that little rally for Columbus started because Thomas walked consecutive batters with 2 outs. That leads you to believe what Justin and I are talking about. Some of these struggles right now for Connor, it's not really mechanical, it's just up top. As the great Yogi Berra once said, this game, 90% is half mental. This ball is fair. Robertson has no play. I have no idea how Trent Brooks kept that fair down the third base line. And the second inning continues. Maribel up to third. And here you go, Justin. 2 on, 2 out, and that scary meat of the lineup coming up.
Tough break for Thomas. He did a good job to come back from 3-0 in the count, made a good pitch, and sometimes, baseball is a game where bad breaks happen. And now you have to bear down against a really, really good hitter.
And a hitter who will attack you right away in the at-bat. Oscar Gonzalez at the plate. He walked on 5 pitches in the first, later came around to score. 8 hits in the series. A scary sight for any pitcher. Big hack for Gonzalez. Between Oscar Gonzalez on Columbus and Juan Yepes on Memphis, you have a couple of guys who are throwbacks in that, they're taking hacks up there. They are putting every ounce into their swings. It's like Reggie Jackson, Babe Ruth. Watch highlights of those guys. They were not getting cheated. Two and 1 to Gonzalez. Clippers back in those red jerseys tonight. He wore gray the last 2 nights. Getting all of the prospects ready to play for Cleveland, hopefully sooner rather than later. This ball is tattooed, but it's foul in the left field corner. If Gonzalez waits a fraction of a second longer, that's an extra base hit and maybe 2 runs scored. Big break for Connor Thomas. Big pitch right here. Connor Thomas needs it bad. Is there room in foul ground? There's not going to be. Yepes gives it a look, and it's out of play. Another concerning thing, Justin, for Connor Thomas, you see the pitch count. It's already above 50, and we're still not out of the second inning.
Yeah, it's taken him a lot of pitches to get through these hitters. The approach has been really impressive for the Columbus batters so far tonight. Thomas hasn't been able to get too many swings and misses, and these Columbus hitters have taken advantage.
Rope to center, hanging up for Connor Capel. And it ends up being a scoreless second inning for Connor Thomas. 2 singles left on the bags, and we're going to the bottom of the second. Bottom of the second time at AutoZone Park. Redbirds have some work to do. Columbus held off the scoreboard in the top of the second. They had 2 more hits, but Connor Thomas stranded them. 5, 6, 7 due for the Redbirds as we start bottom 2. The left-handed batter, Alec Burleson, leads it off against Heath Philmeyer. Kramer Robertson did single in the first, but he never moved past the first base bag. The 27-year-old from New Jersey, Heath Philmeyer, throws. Burleson takes a strike. .250 batting average for Burleson. He's been with the Redbirds for almost a month now. He's had some highlights at the plate. Also had a highlight in the outfield last night. On a shallow fly ball to right field, he had an absolutely gorgeous throw to third that pegged out a tagging base runner. It was kind of interesting, Justin. I saw on Twitter earlier today the student section for East Carolina, where Alec Burleson played college baseball. They tweeted us a highlight of Burley in college on a play that looked just like the play last night. The man has an absolute rocket for a left arm.
Yeah, that one in the regional back in 2019 against Quinnipiac, threw out a runner at the plate. Last night, the throw to third, very impressive. This is a guy who was a two-way player in college. He pitched, so you know he has a good arm.
Big hack at the 3-1. Philmeyer's fastball has been sitting in the mid-90s tonight, and as of now, still very early. Redbirds can't catch up to it. Good swing on 3-2. Benson having to go back and make the catch on the warning track. Benson's speed can make up for any initial mistakes he may make. Had to go back pretty quickly on this ball as he froze for half a second, but still a pretty easy play for him.
Yeah, he's a really smooth center fielder, and if you don't know off the bat, if you can't tell if the ball's in or back, they teach you, just freeze there for a minute and let your speed do the work. That's exactly what Benson did.
Evan Mendoza takes strike one. It's always interesting, Justin, to see where outfielders set up, where they position themselves in the outfield, specifically fielders like Benson. Famously, Ken Griffey Jr. played a shallow center field because he trusted his speed going back. Well, Benson plays a little deeper in center. We've seen him run in and make some nice catches this week. It's not often you get a guy who's 6'5", 230 with the speed of Will Benson, but he is certainly an adept fielder out there because of his great speed.
Yeah, honestly, he plays in an excessively deep center field. If you look at him versus where Gonzalez is in right, it looks like he's in a different area code, but yeah, Benson, the measurables, the tools, you can tell why he was a first-round pick. I mean, look how far in Gonzalez is compared to him.
A lot of room in that right center gap as well because of how in Gonzalez is and how back Benson is. It's an excellent shot by our crew. Evan Mendoza known for going the other way. This one pulled to third. Easy pickings for Nolan Jones, and 2 outs for Philmeyer in the second.
And Philmeyer's just filling it up with fastballs. That time threw his breaking pitch, and Mendoza was a little bit out in front, but it's been a lot of heat early and often for Philmeyer, and, well, when you're having success with it, when you have 96 in your arsenal, certainly worth throwing it.
See if Connor Capel can turn things around at the plate for the Redbirds. It's been a slower week for Connor Capel. He's just 1 for 9 this week. He did single last night, also walked. He's played in 3 games this week, and he has a walk in each game. The left-handed batter from Texas coming in with a batting average of .261. 9 homers, 34 driven in. And that routine that Connor Capel just did, unvelcro the batting gloves, revelcro them, he does that after every pitch. All right, let's watch it again. Steps out, unvelcro, revelcro. Why not do it one more time? All right, now I'm ready. Somewhere Nomar Garcia-Parra smiles. Good pitch on 2-1 by Philmeyer. Oh man, he forgot to re-velcro the left hand the second time. Nice catch at third by Brooks. On a sinking low liner, he takes away a hit from Capel and keeps it 3-0 Clippers as we go to the third.
To fly.
Special thank you to our friends and partners at Le Bonheur Children's Hospital. Life-saving, life-changing work is done at Le Bonheur Children's Hospital every single day. We're honored to be a small part of it. Time for the top of the third at AutoZone Park. Connor Thomas gave up all 3 runs in the first inning. Nolan Jones scored one of those runs. On the ground, stopped at first. Yepes has no play. That was a hard hit ball. But Juan Yepes probably going to be credited with an error. Again, hard hit ball, but bobbled initially, and Jones has good speed, especially coming out of the left-handed batter's box.
It's been a lot of first pitch attacking from these Columbus hitters against Connor Thomas. The double for Arias in the first, the triple for Benson, both on the first pitch, and Nolan Jones ready for the first pitch of this inning as well.
Not wasting time on Thomas. Here's Gabriel Arias, who had one of the big blows of this ball game. 2-run double in the first. That one's off the mound into center. Jones stops at second. Capel throws there. Nolan safe. Back-to-back hard hit balls for Gabriel Arias. And the news is not getting better for Connor Thomas in the third. They did give Jones a single, by the way, so back-to-back singles off of Connor Thomas. Here's Will Benson, who smoked a triple, drove in a run back in the first. That is an intimidating stare he has at the plate. Former first-round pick, 14th overall selection by Cleveland in the 2016 draft out of Westminster High in Atlanta. Recent call-up to AAA, he spent most of this year with the Akron Rubber Ducks in AA. He did go around, and it's an 0-2 count to Benson.
It's really the best breaking ball we've seen from Thomas to a left-hand hitter. Remember, he threw that good one in the first to strike out Monasterio, a good one to call in the second to strike him out, but those are both right-handed hitters.
They've got the runners picked off, and then Thomas threw it away. This is not good. Jones is in. Arias up to third. And you hate to be too on the nose, but that play right there is kind of indicative of the last 2 outings for Connor Thomas. That is not going to make Ben Johnson very happy.
And right there can be the issue with the shift, right? Robertson was playing so far off the bag that Thomas kind of had to either think, do I lead him? Do I throw it to where he is? And he ended up throwing it behind Robertson. And now the Birds are going to bring the infield in.
Benson just gets a piece.
You know, a lot of times, Evan, right, when you have the shift on, it can be an odd double play turn, but there are also situations outside of a double play where a shift makes it more difficult, and that was one right there.
Gut check time for Connor Thomas now. There you go. Good pitch. Benson tips it into the catcher's glove. And a sorely needed first out in the third.
Now batting second baseman number 6, Andrew Monasterio.
Just a fastball. And sometimes you can analyze, sometimes you can say a guy just missed it. Benson just missed that. That had a lot of the plate.
Next task for Thomas, Andrew Monasterio. He struck out back in the first. You like this decision, Justin? Pull the infield in for Memphis?
You know, generally, this early in a game, you don't do it, but it's already 4-0. You've got on the other side on the mound and Phil Meyer that looks pretty comfortable. So, yeah, I think it's worth trying to save this run.
Feels like you have to stem the tide at some point. Pulling the infield in here saves a run potentially. You do it. Over the glove of Mendoza. Arias will come in and score. Monasterio drives him in. That thing was a rocket. And the Clippers lead 5-0.
Love to get another look at that.
Catcher number 29, Mike Rivera.
As it looked like Mendoza, you know, there's not much reaction time when a guy hits a ball that hard, but I don't know if it was over the glove. Let's get another look here. That thing is smoked. Yeah, I mean, Monasterio didn't even run. He thought it was so right at him that it was going to get caught. I don't think that was over his glove. He just missed it. And it's hard to fault him. It was hit so hard, but
Looked like he had a bit of topspin on it because it was hit so hard. But yes, I think Mendoza probably feels in his heart of hearts that he should have caught it. And Mendoza's a guy who prides himself on his defense, so I think we can confidently assume that Evan thinks he should have caught that. It was really hit hard. Monasterio deserves the run driven in, but that's a big potential changing point in this game, no doubt about that. Rivera, wave and a miss. Thomas just pulled the string on him.
and you think about how this inning is developed, right? Well, some of the balls have been hit really hard, but, you know, if you give everyone some truth serum, Yepes should have made the play at first to start the inning. Mendoza should have caught that. Those are 2 outs you don't record, and you also have the ball Thomas threw away on the pickoff situation.
Now, we will say this. Of the 7 hits for the Clippers, 1 has been a soft base hit. Maybe the infield single for Jones should have been an out, but everything else hard hit. Good pitch for Thomas. Rivera swings and misses. It's now 5 strikeouts for Thomas. They're all swinging.
And that's more than we usually see for Connor. So it's interesting because he's getting more swings and misses than you normally see, but also getting hit around more than we normally see.
Very atypical start tonight for Connor. Here's another Connor. This one is Connor Maribel. Good old-fashioned Connor squared matchup here. Maribel, a former Jacksonville Dolphin. From Jacksonville, played collegiately at Jacksonville. Now he's farther from home. He is having an excellent week at the plate. Sharp single to center field in the second. He is 9 for 16 at the plate this week. We've got a Dolphin against a Yellow Jacket here. Connor Thomas pitched in college at Georgia Tech. I have no idea how good of an engineer he was. Fight Song would tell you he was a hell of an engineer. Hard swing, foul again from Maribel. You said it earlier, Justin. He is a 9-hitter in name only. That is the face of a confident swinger right now. Over Yepez's glove. Monasterio around second as this ball rolls to the corner. They're going to try and score him. Burleson had trouble picking it up. It turns into an RBI triple for Connor Maribel, and his dream week continues.
Just a chopper that hit hard enough that it was barely over Yepez's head. The run would have scored no matter what. Monasterio has good speed, but as you can see here, Burleson bobbling it. That should probably be a double and an error. There was no way that Maribel was going to get to third base.
Now 6 runs on 8 hits for Columbus. First pitch grounded foul by Alex Call. Well, Justin, this has been really weird to watch the last 2 times for Connor Thomas. He had been Memphis's most consistent starter, their best starter. But in the last week, it's been a nightmare for him. Gave up those 7 runs back on Sunday against Nashville in 2/3 of a first inning. And tonight, Columbus attacking him again. A lot of good swings and a lot of success. Right now, Connor Thomas is maybe the loneliest man in Memphis. Trying to put away Alex Call and end this inning. Soft ground ball. Mendoza fields and throws. Nice play. And the top of the 3rd is over. But 3 more for Columbus, and they're feeling good as we go bottom 3. Sun beginning to set on a beautiful Saturday night in Memphis, Tennessee. Bad news right now is that Columbus is all over Memphis. It's Clippers 6 and Redbirds nothing as we zoom back in to AutoZone Park. Dennis Ortega, Brendan Donovan, Nick Plummer will be the 3 batters for Memphis here in the bottom of the 3rd inning. Dennis in the lineup tonight. We saw Ali Sanchez a lot early in this series. He caught the first 3 nights. Dennis has now caught the last 2. Heath Philmeyer back to work. And he deals strike 1. 0 for 3 night for Dennis Ortega last night. Strikeout and a ground ball that turned into 2. Six runs on 8 hits so far for Columbus. Memphis only has 1 hit against this right-handed starter from New Jersey. That's hit number 2. Past Gabriel Arias, and Dennis Ortega has his first hit of the week.
And look, Philmeyer's a guy who throws hard, but based on the arsenal we've seen, almost a full trip through the order now, it's a lot of fastballs, and you have to go up there hunting that. If you're the Birds hitters, we saw Robertson do that in the first inning, and Ortega do the same right there.
So as Ortega leads off first, steers Brendan Donovan. Good run of recent success for this left-handed hitter. 2-run double on Thursday, beg your pardon. Double yesterday. Hoping for more success tonight. Whew, big hack. Make the count 1-1. Former South Alabama Jaguar. Twirling that bat behind his red batting helmet. Another big hack. Back-to-back mid-90s fastballs from Philmeyer. And Donovan couldn't hit either. Redbirds trying to get back in this game. It's been all Columbus so far. Brendan Donovan has a very unique story. Played his college ball at South Alabama. He was raised in Enterprise, Alabama. He's actually born in Würzburg, Germany. That's a story. Tell the grandkids that one. Back-to-back fastballs high and in. He lays off both. Works the count full. How many rallies, Justin, have we seen this year started by the bottom part of the Redbirds lineup? When you're down by this many early, just put runners on base and get Gorman and Yepes to the plate. They've got the power to flip the script.
They certainly do. And Ben Johnson really has a deep lineup, and you see Donovan draw the walk, right? He has a lineup that can flip itself 1 through 9. You don't have guys at the bottom that are automatic outs. Now, we're talking when we're playing against American League opponents. When the Birds play National League opponents, obviously the pitcher hits, but you get a single from Ortega, walk from Donovan, and you don't need to make up all 6 right here, but there's a lot of ball game left. It's only the 3rd inning. Just start chipping away. We saw the Birds last week come back and tie games from 4 runs down, 5 runs down, and 8 runs down.
Let's see what Nick Plummer can do to help the cause here. And to your point, it's definitely a team that never gives away at-bats, battles tooth and nail every single night. And look, Heath Philmeyer is a guy whose ERA entering tonight didn't exactly pop off the page, so this ball game's not over. You just got to chip away and keep putting at-bats together at this point. 1-1 to Nick Plummer as he fouls the 1-0 off.
You know, Philmeyer has something I don't think I've ever seen before. His glove, which very nicely matches his uniform, by the way, the bright red, it doesn't look like it has any hole for his finger to come out of on his left hand, right? All the gloves either have a 1-finger hole or a bigger one where your knuckles are exposed and one finger comes out. It looks like his glove is fully closed.
Awfully close to strike 2. Plummer makes the count 2-1. Former first-round pick by the Cardinals back in 2015. Plummer was picked out of Brother Rice High, which is in suburban Detroit. 2-1. Gets away from Rivera. Oh, it actually hit Plummer. How about a bases loaded, nobody out scenario for the Redbirds? They may be down by 6, but it feels like that's about to change.
Breaking ball got away and right on that back toe of Plummer, and you love to see it, right? Guys who like to get on base, he didn't budge one bit. So Plummer's on, bases loaded, conversation coming with Philmeyer. And yeah, this is a huge opportunity in this ball game to try and get back into it. If you can get 2-3 runs here, you feel like you have an opportunity tonight. Conversely, for Philmeyer, you're thinking about trying to limit the damage to 1 as get a look at Andy Tracy, the manager for this Columbus team. A group that is on pace to set the record for the highest ERA in franchise history. So you would imagine there have been a lot of innings that have started the way this one has for the Clippers.
From the Redbirds' perspective, you've set the table for your meat of the lineup. 2, 3, 4 are now due with the bases loaded and nobody out. Ball 1 to Kramer Robertson.
Last 2 batters have walked and been hit by a pitch. So if you're Robertson, you see a guy on the mound who's struggling with his control right now. You're hunting one pitch in one spot. If it's not that pitch at least once, you're going to make Philmeyer get something over to the plate before you start attacking.
In his last at bat, Robertson worked the count to 3-1, got that one pitch in the one spot, slapped a sharp single to right field. This is a count where you can hunt one pitch, one spot. 2-0, bases loaded, nobody out. Kramer's thinking big right here. Big hack, but he fouls it away.
Good aggressive cut, though, on a center cut fastball. Nice catch by a fan off the deflection, by the way. In the first row of the second deck.
Oh, and he is fired up. This gave a big old fist pump. Where's Tiger Woods when you need him? Three and one to Kramer Robertson. There's no place to put him.
Yeah, now you're back in that approach, right? If it's not the exact pitch you want in the exact spot, you're taking it if you're Kramer.
Popped up behind home. Is there room for Rivera? No. Reaches the fifth row of seats. Someone is very excited down there. They got that foul ball.
That's a big break right there. That's the kind of situation that could have been huge for Philmeyer to get a pop out for his first out of the inning. Instead, still has to work with Robertson. Kramer had a great swing against him last time for that single. And he is a tough out. Leads the team with 50 walks this year, so you can usually place a good bet that Kramer is not going to chase something out of the zone.
Base hit right field. Ortega scores. Everyone else moves up 90 feet. A two-hit night for Kramer Robertson. And the Birds are on the board. What an at-bat that was for Kramer Robertson.
Really was. Battled Philmeyer and once again goes the other way. Same way he had that hit in the first. And he just moved the merry-go-round one spot up for everyone. And now Rigo Beltran, the pitching coach for Columbus, on his way out to the mound. This is starting to get away from Philmeyer a little bit in the third inning. And you know these next two, Gorman and Yepes, can really change a game with one swing.
Yeah, Gorman with 9 home runs in AAA this year. Yepes with 17. I think that's exactly why Beltran's at the mound right now. Look, we've still got this thing in the driver's seat, but we got to make sure we limit the damage here. Gorman, Yepes are both not burners at the plate, so you get a ground ball here, you can get a couple of outs in one fell swoop. You're right, Justin. I'm looking at Philmeyer's glove. There is no place to stick your fingers out. I have never seen that before. That is quirky. Conference complete. Rockies loving this. Firing up the crowd. And a big early spot in the ball game. Great block by Rivera. How many times have we said that this week?
Guy's an excellent catcher behind the plate. Just beautiful form, deadening that ball right in front of him. But again, Philmeyer behind in a count, as he has been all inning. Look at that thing, though.
I didn't know they made gloves like that. It's got to be custom. 1-1 to Gorman. Nolan struck out swinging in the first. The power numbers that can change the game very, very quickly. Had a home run back on Tuesday night. It was his first at-bat of the week. No home runs since. He has doubled since his line drive 2-run home run back on Tuesday night. Big cut for Nolan, but now he's down in the count. "21-year-old from Arizona. Childhood buddies with Matthew Liberator. The top two prospects in the Cardinals system are playing and living together this summer in Memphis. What a small world." That's a great pitch by Philmeyer, and just not the result you wanted if you're Nolan Gorman. Heath gets the biggest out of the game.
Now batting for your Redbirds, the
It's a good changeup, and Gorman
baseman number 68.
a little bit out in front, and he chased it, so that's a big out for Philmeyer. If you're the Birds, right, you want more than one out of this inning. And Yepez, certainly the guy to do it. Had a tough at-bat his first time, but Juan's had a great week. Got great speed on second and first, so if Juan can put something in a gap, you feel like all three can score.
This ball is tattooed! Juan Yepez, a man possessed! His 18th home run in AAA ball. This one is grand. And the Memphis Redbirds are back in the ball game. Juan Yepez, it is a pleasure to watch you work.
Hanging breaking ball from Philmeyer, and Yepez knew it right away. This guy is in some kind of groove right now. And I'll tell you what, we've talked about this for weeks on end. I don't know what people look at when they put together prospect lists. I don't know what's going on in Springfield and Peoria and Palm Beach down below us. But there are not, absolutely not, 26 better players in this organization than Juan Yepez.
I mean, it's absurd what he is doing right now. It is absolutely stupid. In his last 9 games, he has 10 extra base hits. 1-1 to Burleson. 7 doubles, 3 home runs for Yepez in his last 9 games. He's 15 for 31. Gobbled up at first by Brooks. Out number 2 in the third, but this place is still buzzing on a grand slam from Juan Yepez, and all of a sudden has made it 6-5.
Mendoza.
Let's see what Evan Mendoza can do to help the cause. It is a 5-run third inning, and a Redbirds team that never says die. Well, their heart is pumping right now. Mendoza grounded out to third base back in the second inning. Guy who's hit some good, sweet swings recently. Started to add some extra base power. He's still looking for his first home run this year. Big hack. Counts now 1-2. Five-run third inning for Memphis. Heath Philmeyer has been bruised. All started with an Ortega single. Donovan walked, Plummer hit by a pitch. Robertson drove in one, and then Yepez did a grand slam. Count fills up on Mendoza.
Second grand slam of the week for the Birds, right, by the way. 4th of the season. Scott Hurst hit one in the first inning on Tuesday. Remember, the Birds scored 8 runs in that inning.
Mendoza fouls it off and stays alive. Good crowd at AutoZone Park tonight. They're oohing and eyeing as they chase after every foul ball. And when you got a crowd like this, you want a moment like the one we just had. A booming, arcing grand slam from Juan Yepes just makes the crowd roar. The sweet sounds of summer at AutoZone Park. This one slashed to right. There's that sweet swing for Evan Mendoza. This third inning won't end.
And how good have the approaches been the second time through the order, right? First time through, Philmeyer was rolling, throwing that fastball. Second time through, he's only recorded 2 outs against the first 6 hitters.
Mendoza loves to go the other way. When you can swing it like that, keep going that way. It's now 5 hits this week for Evan. Strike one to Connor Capel. Connor is the 9th man to bat in the inning. He hit one hard to first base in the second inning, but Brooks caught it. Sharp line drive, Connor will take that. This one hit much more softly. Philmeyer's got it, and he ends the third. But what a third it was. 5 runs for the Redbirds, including a Yepes grand slam. And they're back in the ball game.
Five runs in the bottom of the third inning, capped off by a Juan Yepes grand slam. And the Birds are right back in it. It's 6-5 as we start the fourth. Justin Galanti, Evan Stockton with you. So glad you could be with us tonight on CW30 or MILB TV or however other ways you might have found to watch us tonight. Big inning for Connor Thomas as he delivers strike one to Trenton Brooks. Evan, your team gets you 5 after it was 6-0. It's imperative to go put up a 0.
You know, a wise man said, I believe it was in the bottom of the first inning. A wise man sitting to my left said that it felt like a good night to be a hitter. That wise man was Justin Galanti. He is being proven right.
I was just spitballing. Brooks in the air to left. This is well hit. Plummer a long run. It's a foul ball.
Connor Thomas right now, a guy whose confidence has got to be shot with the way the last 2 outings have gone. You just got a little boost to your system. And look, this is probably his last inning unless he pitched quickly in this inning with the 77 pitches. Get through 4, get to the bullpen. You're in the game now. Close strong, give yourself a little boost of confidence.
1-2 on Brooks, who has singled and struck out tonight. 3 to the pull side against him. You know, the future, it's the future. It's not worth talking about right now necessarily, but whatever happens the rest of this game is really important for tomorrow. Brooks fouls off the 2-2 because Columbus doesn't have a starter for tomorrow. They're throwing a reliever to start the game who's probably only going to go 1 inning, 2 max. Doesn't look like Heath Philmeyer is going to last much longer tonight. So if the Birds can continue to eat into the Columbus bullpen, it won't only help them tonight, it'll help them tomorrow as well. Brooks working a good battle here against Thomas. Trenton has 4 hits this week, a couple of runs batted in as well. For the first baseman, who's really a natural outfielder. Clippers, they don't have a natural first baseman on this roster, so they end up putting Brooks at first a lot. To the right side for Donovan, off balance, got him. I thought Mendoza was the one who was going to take that ball. Instead, it's Brendan Donovan recording the first out.
That's a guy who's been playing second all week, playing first all week, shifting to second, and he makes one heck of a play. Smile tells the story on that. Brendan showing off the range. Watch this again. Ground ball to the right side, bit of an off-balance throw, and got him. Nice play.
Now here's Oscar Gonzalez, very dangerous right-hand hitter, as Thomas hits the outside corner with a breaking ball. Couple innings with 3 runs tonight for the Clippers. 1 inning with 5 runs tonight for the Birds. Seems like 6-5 won't be all that close to our final score tonight. That is just a guess. Gonzalez has walked and skied to center. And behind in the count 0-2 as Thomas snaps off a good slider. "83 pitches already for the 23-year-old left-hander. 5 strikeouts and 2 walks for Connor Thomas tonight. We talked about this in the open, Evan, right? The splits are very odd for Connor this year. Oh, what a play! Look what I found. 2 down in the 4th. Self-preservation or skill. I don't know, but Connor Thomas is happy to have the out, and he takes a probably much-needed deep breath.
That's called a glove save and a beauty. My goodness, Oscar Gonzalez with another good swing. Woo! Look what I found. On number 2 in the 4th, that's what I found.
1-0 on Nolan Jones. But back to this, Evan. Coming into the game, Thomas's ERA almost 5.5 at home, 2.31 on the road. And this is not a hitter's ballpark. You know, it's pretty fair to both hitters and pitchers. Sometimes weird things just happen. Jones to the right side for Yepes. Thomas has a 1-2-3 inning. There's the shutdown frame the Birds needed. Down by 1, headed to the bottom of the 4th. Packed, nobody trashes Tennessee Bluffs at AutoZone Park tonight, and they are enjoying an offensive ball game. Columbus is 6-5 lead, but momentum is with the Redbirds right now. They scored 5 in the 3rd. Connor Thomas just had his first 1-2-3 inning of the game. And now it's going to be the same part of the order that started that 5-run 3rd inning as the Birds sent 9 to the plate, scoring 5 times, 4 of them coming home on the grand slam from Juan Yepes. Dennis Ortega will lead off here against Heath Fillmyer, and he takes a strike. Fillmyer tonight got through the first 2 innings pretty easily, but lost control in the 3rd, and then lost a ball over the left field fence. Yepes goes around 0-2. Ortega goes around 0-2. Fillmyer has spent time in the major leagues with the Royals, pitched in Kansas City in all of 2018 and part of 2019. And he's been well-traveled since then. Signed with Arizona on March 19th of this year after being released by the Royals. 10 days later, he got released again, this time by the Diamondbacks. So when he got released, he said, all right, I'm going to go pitch in independent baseball. Signed with the Lancaster Barnstormers of the Atlantic League. Made 1 appearance and then got the call from Cleveland. Signed with them on May 30th, just about a month into the minor league season. Ortega's staying alive. Count remains 1-2. Fillmyer, since he's been with Columbus, mostly a starter, but his last 2 appearances have come out of the bullpen before tonight. Gave up 5 runs and 2 1/3 last week on the road at Werner Park against the Omaha Storm Chasers. Little nubber towards Monasterio. He handles it well. 1 away. Heath Fillmyer, a community college product from New Jersey. So many guys take so many different paths to the major leagues or to the highest levels of professional baseball, and Heath Fillmyer just another example. Now it's Brendan Donovan's turn. He walked his last time. You know, the average doesn't pop off the page for Donovan in his first week plus in AAA. He's hitting 174, but he's been productive, right? He's driven in 4 runs this week, 6 in total, has a homer, walks a good deal, and he's been able to be versatile. He's already played 3 positions in the infield. This one is launched to right, and we are tied. Oh my goodness! Brendan Donovan, his second long ball with the Birds. It is 6-6.
It's officially a good night to be a hitter. That was teed off. 6 unanswered for the Redbirds. That is center cut. That is a sweet left-handed swing. That's a tie ball game. No doubt shot.
Plummer in the air to left center field. That splits the gap. Benson cuts it off right before the wall, but he missed it. Plummer on his way to third. Benson bobbles again, and Plummer stands up. The 2 newest Birds, Donovan and Plummer, getting it done here in the 4th inning. We'll see how that one's scored, but either way, the go-ahead run's 90 feet away.
I mean, that's a bad route to the ball by Benson. He's got to cut that one off before it gets to the wall and then the bobble. But that's created by the speed of Plummer. Benson knows in the back of his head, I got to get this ball in quickly because Nick is burning around the base paths. Another good swing, continuing such an impressive opening week in AAA. The Redbirds were down 6-0 at one point, I swear. You talk about a quick turnaround, man. How fun is this to watch?
They give Plummer a double and an error. Now here's Robertson. Good breaking ball from Philmeyer. Kramer's had a good day already. Couple singles. The Birds are on the verge of taking the lead after trailing 6-0 after 2.5 innings. That ball's foul off third, and it's quickly 0-2. You know, Evan, we've talked all year about the resiliency of this team. The Birds have come back late in ball games all the time, but they've taken it to a different level the last 2 weeks. In the last 10 games, this group has come back from 4, 5, 8, and now 6 down to at least tie ball games. 0-2. Good spoil from Kramer Robertson.
And Justin, they've got the firepower to do this now. With the way Juan Yepes is swinging the bat, Nolan Gorman's always a threat to do something. Burleson, Donovan has 2 home runs now. They've got firepower at the plate, and when you couple that with good approaches and you couple it with the right-handed starting pitcher who has struggled this year, it all adds up to a lot of good things that can happen at the plate no matter what the score is.
Good take on the breaking ball. 1-2 on Kramer Robertson. Homers for Donovan and Yepes tonight. The Birds have come back from 6-0 down to tie this game. And Plummer represents the go-ahead run, standing at third. I'll tell you what, Kramer Robertson, he's 2 for 2 today. He's been in a little bit of a tough stretch. His average is down to 233 on the year. But no matter what, from May 4th opening day to today, August 28th, this guy is a very, very difficult out. He battles every single at-bat. Philmeyer all the way up to 78 pitches, and as you might guess, there is activity in the pen. Another 1-2.
It's one of those sports cliches, but in Kramer Robertson's case, it rings true. Great intangibles, a guy you want on your team with how he competes every single day. Is he the biggest in the world? No. Is he the strongest? No. Does he compete every single night? You betcha.
That one hit off the knob of the bat. So another foul ball.
Crowd thought it hit him. Don't see that every day.
For a moment, you're a little disappointed on plays like that, right? You say, ooh, that could have been a free base. And then you realize, you know what? Kramer didn't need 94 in the left shoulder.
Ooh, the guy avoided potential injury.
One of the more important players on this roster, no doubt. Ground ball, base hit right field. The Redbirds lead it. Robertson on his way to second, and he is out. Good throw by Gonzalez, but it's a 3-hit day for Robertson and a 7-6 lead for the Redbirds.
3-hit night for Kramer. That was a little too aggressive, but great swing. Slap it down the right field line, give your team the lead. Oscar Gonzalez has a very good arm in right field. That was a missile to second. Robertson was a dead duck. Tried his best to get around the tag. Heath Philmeyer, Justin, coming out of the ball game, and I think he needs a breather. My goodness, what a late flurry it was for the Redbirds in the final few pitches of his outing.
After 2 innings, if you said Heath Philmeyer is going to be the first one out of this game, wouldn't have believed you. After 3 2/3, he's done, and the Birds lead 7-6. New pitcher coming on. It's a former Memphis Redbird on the mound. Kevin Hergit is the new pitcher in for Heath Philmeyer, who got roughed up in a 3 2/3 inning start. Gave up 8 hits and 7 runs, all earned, and a 6-0 lead has turned into a 7-6 deficit for the Clippers. Nolan Gorman, the first test for Hergit. Gorman has struck out twice tonight. He's really the only one who hasn't gotten in on the fun for the Birds offense. Gorman in the air to deep left field. Call back. He is at the wall, and that ball's gone! Opposite field power from Nolan Gorman. His 10th AAA long ball. It's a party at AutoZone Park tonight. 8-6 Birds.
Papo Tacos always taste better on Saturdays. This ball kept flying. Off the bat, looked like it was going to be caught on the warning track. Just enough juice. That right there is a shining example of Nolan Gorman's prodigious power. 8 unanswered for the Redbirds.
And now here's the guy who hit the grand slam last inning, Juan Yepes. Hergit misses outside. So that is a rude greeting to your old home ballpark. I'll tell you that much. Yepes, between AA and AAA this year, he now has 23 home runs. Oh, he was thinking 24. That was at the eyes. 1-1 count.
Man, when you're swinging it like this, hack away. Hack away. Everybody in this ballpark is glued to him right now.
You know, before this year, Juan Yepes had never hit more than 10 home runs in a professional season. Let's just run through quickly. He started as a professional in 2015. His home run totals, 4, 1, 8, 3, 10. This year he has 23, and there's still more than a month left in the season. Talk about making a leap.
Yeah, we talk about these prospect rankings all the time, right? And at the end of the day, do they mean much? I don't know. With the way Juan Yepes is hitting the ball, every single talent evaluator in baseball needs to be glued right here and now to this guy.
1-2 count. And Hergit gets him. So Yepes goes down swinging, but the Birds score 3 more times. Donovan goes deep. Gorman does the same. And it's 8-6 as we go to the 5th. There are going to be fireworks after the game tonight, presented by Terminex here in AutoZone Park. Plenty of fireworks already this evening. Birds up 8-6 as we start the fifth, and give Connor Thomas credit. It's been a tough night, but he is back out there. Coming off his first 1-2-3 inning. Arias swings at the first pitch, and Arias is a 3-hit game.
Said it earlier tonight, Justin. If you're a Cleveland baseball fan, loving what you're seeing from Nolan Jones and Gabriel Arias this week, that's your two best prospects on the Clippers. And tonight, they've scored 4 combined runs. They have 4 combined hits. They've reached base 5 combined times. All good stuff. We've learned by now this game's not over. It's probably just beginning if we're being honest about things.
0-1 count on Will Benson, who already has an RBI triple in this game. Former first rounder a couple of years ago out of high school. All the tools in the world, and this year he's put it together more than any other. He's always been able to hit home runs in his career, but this is the first year he's hit for any average. 22 home runs combined between a couple levels in both 2018 and 2019. 1-2 count on the 23-year-old. It's so interesting when you talk about high school draft picks versus college draft picks, right? If you're a college pick, 1 year into your professional career, you're the same age Will Benson is now, as he swings through that one and strikes out for the second time today. 6 strikeouts for Connor Thomas, but Evan, just to finish the point, you know, Will Benson's already had a pretty long professional career. He's still only 23, but when you're a high school pick, that clock starts earlier, and you talk about, right, quote-unquote, prospect clock. It runs out at an earlier age. Here's Andrew Monasterio. Single and a strikeout tonight, and he's first pitch swinging as well.
And honestly, Justin, just from a human level, you feel bad for guys like Will Benson. They're so young, but you know he's thinking in the back of his mind, I got to prove myself at the AAA level these last few weeks of the year. They're probably going to let me loose at the end of the year. It's frustrating, no doubt about it, but it's sports. It's kind of a cruel business.
1-1 on Monasterio, a guy who's been moved a couple times in his career for notable names. Originally signed with the Cubs back in 2014 out of Venezuela. Was moved to the Nats for Daniel Murphy in 2018, and then the Indians in December of that same year for Yan Gomes. If you're just joining us, you have missed a lot. What have you been doing? It's Saturday night. It's Redbirds night. It was a 6-0 Columbus lead. Now an 8-6 lead for the Birds, but Thomas gives up another base hit. He's given up 10 tonight. 96 pitches. Tommy Parsons ready in the bullpen, and I think Ben Johnson's getting ready to make that walk to the mound.
Yeah, this ball game feels like the ball game we had on Sunday against the Nashville Sounds that ended up 13-12. A lot of hitting going on tonight, and Connor Thomas did the best he could. Clearly did not have his best stuff. Has not had his best stuff the last 2 outings. And this game is going to be a war of attrition. Somebody will be left standing. We just don't know who yet.
Tommy Parsons is coming in. Connor Thomas on his way out. It's officially a bullpen game. Birds up 2. Tommy Parsons enters for the Birds in a tough spot, 2 on, 1 out, and the Redbirds up 8-6. Tommy's an interesting story. You look at those numbers, not great. Began the year as a starter. He was actually the opening day starter for the Redbirds, but he missed about a month plus, came back last week. He's thrown 2 innings out of the bullpen, and Evan, he's been pretty dominant since he's come back. Velo's up, breaking stuff looks sharper. It's been fun to see Tommy in this new role.
Yeah, it really is, but let's be honest about it. This is going to be his biggest challenge since moving to the bullpen. This is a game where the hitters are ruling. Somebody's got to settle it down. You're hoping for the Redbirds that Tommy Parsons will be the guy to settle it down. And he's a game where you kind of don't want to be a pitcher in this one because everybody's hitting it.
Mike Rivera, first challenge for the right-hander Parsons. And Parsons gets ahead with a breaking ball. Tommy from Division III Adrian College. That's about as different you can get as the place Mike Rivera played his college baseball, the University of Florida. But, hey, it's AAA. Doesn't matter how you got here. You're here in a big matchup and a big game. Rivera has skied to center and struck out tonight. He only has 39 at-bats this year in AAA. 7 runs batted in. 6 have come in this series. Arias at second and Monasterio at first with 1 out as Connor Thomas is out after 4 1/3. Rivera on the ground to short. Mendoza goes to second for 1. Back to first, double play. Sweet turn, Mendoza to Donovan to Yepes. And Parsons gets the job done and keeps it an 8-6 Redbirds lead as we're halfway through at AutoZone Park.
Fans at this time.
The lights shining bright at AutoZone Park on a Saturday night. And the Birds are up 8-6. Trailed 6-0 after 2.5. And they made the comeback happen pretty quickly with 5 in the third and 3 in the fourth. Justin Galanti, Evan Stockton, glad to be with you on CW30 here locally in Memphis. Kevin Hergit, former Redbird, out for Columbus after giving up a homer and then getting a strikeout to end the fourth, and he's behind Alec Burleson 1-0. You can see the numbers there for Alec. 11 RBI, 6 of them came last Sunday, most in any game for a Bird this year. Played his college ball at East Carolina. We talked in the open about how the Birds now have 7 first-round picks on this roster. Well, Burleson was a second-round pick, so there is a lot of highly touted talent in Memphis. We're glad you're watching with us tonight. You got to get back out to the ballpark if you haven't lately. 1-2 on Burleson.
And the Redbirds are only going to have a couple more homestands. They play tomorrow, then they're on the road for a couple of weeks. Bat home middle of September to take on Louisville, and then last week in September against Charlotte. That's it.
Burleson smacks this one to third. Nolan Jones right there, 1 away.
Yeah, Justin, you make a great point about all the talent that the Redbirds have on their roster right now. It's shaping up to be a fun final month of this season. Feels weird to say that as we're over the 100-game mark. And there's going to be a lot of interesting decisions made up in St. Louis regarding a lot of the players on this roster next season.
Not just next season, but when you talk about it, right? Every other year, you have September call-ups with rosters expanding. That's not happening this year. Now, how will different teams approach the situation? We don't know. If you're in a spot where you're out of the playoff race, do you call up some of those same minor leaguers that would have gotten their first crack at the big leagues in another year? Maybe. Do you wait to start their clock until 2022? That's possible as well. The Cardinals are kind of on the fringes of the second wild card spot right now, so they're going to have some tough choices to make. But look, somebody like Juan Yepes, who we've been basically waxing poetic about for 3 weeks now, I mean, he's a guy at 23 years old, having the year he's had. If there was a 40-man roster in September like other years, you would think he'd get a shot this year. But with rosters not expanding, who knows?
Yeah, it's all interesting things with the way that the minor league season has been structured this year. No September call-ups. I think all Juan can do is just keep hitting the ball like this.
Mendoza chases a high fastball for strike 3.
I mean, it's changing times in minor league baseball as well. Pretty much everybody's schedule for next year is out. Redbirds released their schedule earlier this week, and this 6-game series are here to stay as well. So this is kind of a new era in minor league baseball. The season next year is extending into September again. So it's just all different evaluating, different roster movement and such that has to be done in the future.
Connor Capel fouls off the first pitch. We've already seen this pitcher, Kevin Herget, in the series. Pitched 3 scoreless out of the pen in the game on Tuesday night. So far tonight, he's recorded 3 outs, 2 of them via the strikeout, but Nolan Gorman did take him deep. Oh for 2 night for Capel. Just 1 for 11 in the series, but pretty solid numbers on the season. And when a guy has an on-base percentage nearly 100 points above his batting average, you know his quality of at-bat, or I guess plate appearance, is very strong. And I think we can both agree that's been the case with Connor this year.
100%.
Capel, a guy acquired from this Cleveland organization a couple of years back for outfielder Oscar Mercado. So you know there's probably some extra juice for him. This one in the air to left center, well hit. Call into the gap, and he's got it. 1-2-3 inning for Kevin Herget. Still 8-6 Birds, going to the 6th. Welcome back to AutoZone Park here in Memphis. Along with Evan Stockton, I'm Justin Galanti. And Evan, it has been a fun night tonight. And Juan Yepez, this guy is just incredible right now. 23 homers on the year, another grand slam tonight. And he has impressed you in ways that it's hard to put into words.
I mean, look, if you throw this guy a pitch over the plate right now, he's hitting a home run. It is just crazy how well Juan Yepez is playing right now. All these prospect rankings, I don't care what you want to say, Justin. Juan Yepez deserves to be near the top of every single list right now. That grand slam, a big impetus why Memphis has taken the lead here. They've scored the last 8 runs. But the fact of the matter is, this is the type of night where you feel like a rally for one team or the other is always just around the corner. Somebody is going to have to settle the game down on the mound, and you're hoping that it's Tommy Parsons for the Redbirds.
Parsons only faced 1 batter last inning and got the job done. Got Mike Rivera to ground into a double play. Here it's a 1-1 count against Connor Maribel, who has 2 more hits tonight. 10 for 17 this week for Maribel. 68 miles an hour on that curveball from Parsons. Maribel, he's kind of flinching as it comes in. You can't wait long enough for it to get there. And he blows a fastball past him. That's the sequence for Parsons. 92 doesn't jump off the page, but the differential between 68 and 92 makes 92 look like 100, basically. Tommy didn't pitch for a little more than a month. He's been great since coming back. Swing and a miss. First strikeout tonight for Tommy Parsons.
Sometimes all it takes is a bit of a change of role to get yourself grooving again. It's an elevated fastball that Maribel can't catch. And a big side effect of Tommy Parsons moving to the bullpen, as a starter, you can't quote-unquote unload the clip early in a start. You've got to save juice and gas for later in an outing, Justin. And Tommy Parsons, when he was a starting pitcher, was throwing 91, 92 on his fastball. Now out of the bullpen, that miles per hour can tick up a couple, and the stuff can become more dynamic in the process.
Alex Call behind 0-2. 0 for 3 night for the leadoff hitter for Columbus. Parsons was the opening day starter for the Redbirds this year. Back on May 4th, pitched against Chris Ellis of the Durham Bulls. Chris Ellis, another former Redbird who's now up in the major leagues with the Baltimore Orioles. 0-2. Should be room on the right side, but a long run for Yepez, and there actually wasn't room. Somebody got a souvenir, though, and that's always good. Did you see the other night, Joe Adell playing left field for the Angels? They were at Camden Yards in Baltimore. He threw a fan a ball, and knocked the fan's drink out of his hand. So what did he do? Brought him a bat. And the tweet I saw was, it's great when any athletes, baseball players, basketball, whatever it is, realize that they have a chance to make someone's week every night at the ballpark. Another foul ball from Cole.
It reminds me of that old Joe DiMaggio phrase. They asked him once, Joe, why do you play every single day? Why do you work so hard? Why do you run out every ground ball? Why do you want to play through injury like you do? You're Joe DiMaggio. And he said, there's somebody at the ballpark tonight who's never seen me play before. I want to give him my best. It's the same deal with everybody playing baseball today. Certain things don't change. Now, Joe Adele's not dating Marilyn Monroe, but, you know, there's a good reason for that. She's dead.
Glad you explained that one.
I just wanted to make sure people knew that.
1-2 count on Cole. Deep left field. If it's fair, it's gone, but it's not fair, so it's foul, and it's a strike. Still 1-2.
Justin, you've been bringing up interesting talking points all week. Here's another one for you. Why is it the foul pole, if you hit it, it's a fair ball?
It's an age-old question, to which there really is no answer. Swing and a miss. Back-to-back strikeouts for Tommy Parsons.
There you go. Throwing it by Call. Gassing up the fastball. Big hack for Call. Swing and a miss, strike 3. Dream start out of the pen for Tommy Parsons tonight. Ground ball double play. Swinging strikeout. But now, Justin, you get to the tough part of the order.
And that's why Brooks is an important out with 3, 4, 5 after him. So we've already seen 2 scoreless innings in separate relief appearances from Tommy Parsons, one last week, one earlier this week. This is the first time we've seen him get up and down, right? Have to come back out for a second inning of work, even though he only faced one batter last inning. Doesn't look like that has affected him as well, but he's behind Trenton Brooks here 2-0. 1 for 3 night for the Alpine, California native. Single back in the second inning for Brooks. Back towards Parsons. And Tommy has a 1-2-3 inning. Good work out of the pen for the 25-year-old Parsons. Mid-6, 8-6 Birds. Great crowd on hand. More than 4,000 at AutoZone Park tonight. An 8-6 lead for the Birds. This game has really settled down since the 4th inning when the Birds scored 3 times to take this 8-6 lead. No one has scored since that bottom of the 4th inning. Dennis Ortega is going to lead off an inning for the for the 3rd time in the last 4 innings. Don't usually see that for an 8-hitter. He led off the 3rd when the Redbirds scored 5 runs, sent 9 to the plate, so he led off the 4th, and here he leads off the 6th against Kevin Hergit. One for 2 games so far for Ortega. Just a .211 hitter on the year, but he's swung the bat much better of late. 2 balls, no strikes. Hergit's got an inning and a 1/3 so far. Gave up the home run to Gorman. That was the first batter he faced, but since then, he's retired 4 straight, 2 via the strikeout.
You said it. It feels like this game has settled down a little bit. It happens in slugfest, right? You're scoring runs at a rapid pace, and then you go 3 or 4 innings without any runs. Big inning, obviously, for both teams, and Memphis has started multiple rallies tonight at this spot in the order, so you feel good.
2 balls, 2 strikes now on Dennis Ortega. So, Evan, entering the night, there have only been 23 players in all of affiliated minor league baseball that have 23 home runs this year. Juan Yepez has now joined that list. Little flare out to right. Gonzalez coming on, and he makes a nice running play. If you want to extend that out, right, there are two guys that are a little bit ahead of the rest. Griffin Conine, who is in the Blue Jays system, has 34 home runs this year. MJ Melendez, who's in AAA with the Royals right now, has 33. Outside of that, nobody has more than 28. So Yepez at 23, he's starting to creep up on the leaders in all of minor league baseball. Now here's Brendan Donovan, who went deep his last time. Good location on the fastball from Herget.
I stand by what I said about Juan Yepez earlier tonight. He's stupid good right now. The way he's swinging that bat, his approach is eye-popping. That was also an excellent stat of the day, Justin. Well done.
25 pitches out of the pen so far for Kevin Herget. No one is throwing out in right center for the Clippers. Donovan a foul tip. Seth Elledge is warming up in the pen for the Birds, so you would think Tommy Parsons might be done after an inning and 2/3, but another great job by Tommy.
Yeah, it's been great to see for him. A guy who was not on the Redbirds' radar for a while there. He's come back and he's succeeded.
Brendan Donovan was not on the Redbirds roster 2 weeks ago. Came up from Double-A when Raider Escanio was put on the injured list last week, and Donovan already has driven in 7 runs and gone deep twice in just 24 at-bats. Here he takes strike 3. Herget has his 3rd strikeout.
I mean, you talk about the game settling down right now, but as it cedes to new arms in the bullpen, as it looks like it's about to do for Memphis, right? You just got to keep that train moving, keep that chain moving. For Herget, it's about to get scary again. Top of the lineup, beginning with Nick Plummer, a guy who has earned his call up to AAA. He's been really good all week.
Plummer doubled his last time and eventually scored on Kramer Robertson's RBI single. Two guys very similar, one on each team, Plummer and Will Benson. Both former first-round picks that have struggled in their careers, put it together this year, got into AAA for the first time, and guys who were once top prospects in their organizations and then kind of fell off the radar, right back on the radar this season. Plummer fouls this back, 1-2. Put it this way, Nick Plummer. When the year started, not in the top 30 in the Cardinals organization, according to MLB Pipeline, when they re-ranked about 2 weeks ago, he's number 10. That's how good of a year he had with Double-A Springfield. Set the franchise record for consecutive games on base. Good take on a breaking ball. And an even count on Plummer.
And with no minor league baseball last year, you wondered how some prospects would progress and regress based on all that time off. Nick Plummer has progressed.
That's hit hard, but one hop to Monasterio. 1-2-3 inning for Kevin Herget. And as we go to the back third of this ball game, the Birds still up a deuce.
That right there is a packed scorecard. 19 combined hits, 14 combined runs. The Birds have the last 8 runs. And an 8-6 lead as we go top 7. Evan Stockton, Justin Galanti, glad you're hanging with us on CW30 in Memphis tonight. What a ball game this has turned out to be, huh, Justin?
It has been fun. And we've seen a lot of games like this the last couple weeks. The Birds have come back from big deficits over and over and over again. And a lot of the credit not only goes to the offense, obviously, but to have a comeback, you have to have good bullpen work. Memphis just got that from Tommy Parsons. Now they're looking for more from this guy, Seth Elledge.
ERA for Seth has climbed up recently. He's had a string of outings he'd like to forget. ERA of 5.92, 28 strikeouts, 17 walks. The right-hander faces the meat of the Columbus lineup. This right here is a scary inning, and Oscar Gonzalez can be a scary batter. Got a delay here. All the kids playing catch on the Nobody Trashes Tennessee Bluffs. One of those balls squirted on the field. Oscar can't help but smile as he looks down that way. Probably sees little boys and girls that were once him running up and down and having a great time on a Saturday night. This one a soft little cue shot. Nice job by Elledge covering the bag. Yepes flips it to him, and there's one gone in the 7th.
Looks like Juan got a new glove over at first base. He's been using a red glove over there.
I mean, we've already seen one interesting glove case tonight. The starting pitcher for the Clippers, Heath Philmeyer, had a glove with no opening for his fingers. The first time I've ever seen that in my life. You learn something new every day, or at least you try to. Here's the cleanup batter, Nolan Jones, one of the top prospects in the sport, having another good night. Walk, run scored in the first, infield single, run scored in the third. Entering this week, his batting average was not where it is now. Right now, it's at 236. Entering this week, Nolan Jones was batting .224. He spent the whole year in AAA. Hits in every single game this week. And with another hit tonight, it'll be back-to-back-to-back multi-hit games for the 23-year-old from Bucks County, PA. So in case you're just joining us, 1, welcome, thanks for hanging. 2, the Clippers led 6-0 entering the bottom of the third, and then the Memphis Redbirds went on a tear. 5 runs in the third, 3 runs in the fourth. That's why they've got an 8-6 lead. It's on Seth Elledge here in the 7th at least to keep this comfortable cushion. Whew. Big wave and a miss for Jones. That was a home run hunting swing. Left-handed power hitter with speed. Italian evaluators have been drooling over this guy for a very long time. Another big hack, and the count stays full. Nolan was upset with himself. Thought he missed a good pitch to hit from Elledge.
This is a guy who looks the part as much as anyone you'll ever see, right? Tall, athletic, left-hand hitter with a lot of power.
And there's still room for him to add pounds on that frame. 15, 20 pounds potentially. Wave and a miss. 95 on the inner black, blown by Jones. And there's 2 gone in the 7th.
Good job battling back in the count, and that's the elevated heat that's so hard to lay off, and it's a pitch you really can't do much with.
Last batter to get in the 7th, potentially. This is a problem child today. It's Gabriel Arias. 2-run double in the first, single run scored in the third, single in the 5th.
He swings at the first pitch a lot.
On cue, he takes ball 1.
He wanted to swing.
Yes, he did.
Swing there. You know, you talk about Jones and the capacity to add pounds. It's a tricky business, and, for us, the common folk, it is, the difference between 5-10 pounds. That could be what you had for dinner last night. Not really, but, it doesn't feel like that big a deal, right? But for a professional athlete, the difference between weighing 195 and 205 is a huge difference. And that's why, as science and technology have moved along, these guys are so cognizant of every part of their diet, workout regimen, because it's that important.
Big hack for Arias. Now the count's 2-1.
It's not straight pounds, too. There's body fat percentage, whatever it is. All these guys now wear these Whoop bands that monitor their sleep and their recovery. So much goes into getting out on that field every day and performing at your peak level.
Another big hack for Arias. Yeah, you make a great point. For so many years, we've heard stories, not just in baseball, but all sports, about, this guy needs to add weight. Kevin Durant has been told, probably since the moment he was born, he needs to add weight. At a certain point, you go, why? Right? If something's working, don't mess with it. Obviously, there's a difference between Kevin Durant and Nolan Jones, but just trying to make the comparison. This one hit hard again, but Burleson's got a beat on it, and the top of the 7th is over. 1-2-3 7th for Seth Elledge. It's time to stretch and sing at AutoZone Park. The home team's up by 2.
All right, everybody.
8 unanswered for the Redbirds, and an 8-6 lead as we go bottom 7. Evan Stockton, Justin Galanti, and our entire crew here at AutoZone Park. Glad you're hanging with us on CW30 in Memphis. As always, on MILB.TV. Great to see a good crowd standing and singing the 7th inning stretch. They've had plenty to cheer about tonight. The Birds have 3 home runs, the last 8 runs in this game. Game has settled down a bit. We don't have any runs since the bottom of the 4th inning. And now with Kyle Nelson out of the bullpen for the Columbus Clippers, it's his job to keep Memphis off the scoreboard again and give his offense a chance to come back. They're down to their last 6 outs, Justin.
Yeah, tough day for both starters, but these bullpens have been really good. Kevin Herget gives Columbus a good outing, right? 7 outs. First batter he faced, Nolan Gorman, hit a home run, but after that, didn't give up another base runner. And now Nelson looking to do the same, just keep his team in this ballgame.
When Gangsta's Paradise by Coolio plays in the background, that only means 2 things. 1, Kramer Robertson's at the plate, and 2, I think of Amish Paradise by Weird Al. But one's more important than the other. Big cut for Robertson. He's working on one heck of a night. 3 singles. His last 2 singles were RBI singles. 1 in the 3rd and 1 in the 4th. The 1 in the 4th gave the Redbirds a 7-6 lead. Average for Kramer creeping back up. Now it's at 236. The only thing that's hampering Kramer recently at the plate, he's put together a couple good games in a row at the dish. Hasn't hit a homer in a while. Hasn't hit one here at AutoZone Park since the middle of July. Fair ball down the third base line. Kramer Robertson has a 4-hit night. He makes the turn at second and stops there with a 2-bagger. Nolan Jones thought that was a foul ball. Robertson gets a double and sets the table for Memphis.
Now batting for your Redbirds, the DH, number 12.
Getting another look here, and it's hard to tell. Looked like a fair ball to us. Great shot as always from our camera crew. Robertson was thinking about the 3-bagger, but he was thrown out last time trying to stretch a single to a double, so he makes the prudent decision on that one. And Andy Tracy unhappy with the call from the crew chief over at third, David Arrieta, so they are having a talk. I always wonder, right? There are a lot of words going on in this conversation. What could you really be saying other than, I thought it was foul? No, I didn't. Yes, I did. No, it wasn't. Yes, it was.
You know, Justin, with the changing rules in baseball over the last just about decade now, I guess, with replays. The art of the good manager argument has been lost for the most part. I miss a good Tony La Russa argument. I miss a good Jim Leland argument. This is refreshing to see. And the best news is, nobody threw a base. Nobody
that's the
pushed.
worst news.
Oh. I root for civilized conversations sometimes. That wasn't quite civilized, but, it was couth.
By the way, Robertson now the 7th different Birds player with 4 hits in a game this season. Nobody has 5 yet. Kramer might get a shot at it tonight.
Wave and a miss for Gorman. That was not a good pitch to swing at. He did get a good pitch to swing at in the 4th. That was a Brendan Donovan bomb that came earlier in the inning. One of 3 home runs for the Redbirds tonight. Second home run this year for Donovan with the Redbirds in 8 games now. Now Nolan's down in the count. Later in the 4th inning, Nolan hit his 10th home run in AAA ball. An opposite field shot that cleared the left field wall by inches. Gorman stays alive against this left-hander Nelson. There's the home run from Nolan. You talk about prodigious power. That ball just kept flying in the summer night air. And a nice catch by that fan over the wall, too. Sure that ball is going right on his nightstand as soon as he gets home.
So Nelson in this at-bat, right, went breaking ball, breaking ball, breaking ball. 2 really good ones. Then he hung one. That was the pitch Gorman fouled off. Went to the fastball on that pitch and missed. But you think it was more of a show pitch to Gorman, and now he'll try and bury another breaker.
That's exactly what he did. And Gorman strikes out for the 3rd time tonight. Every once in a while, we look smart. Every once in a while.
First baseman number 68, Juan.
All right, everybody. Put down that drink. Put down the popcorn. Sit up straight. Juan Yepes is at the plate. Back in the 3rd, this happened. Hanging curveball was destined for doom. Juan Yepes, grand slam. This man is the hottest hitter maybe in all of pro baseball right now. Another monster hack. Oh, he's upset he missed it. This man is thinking home run every time he swings. He's been batting nearly .500 for the last 10 days. During that time, he has 10 extra base hits, 7 doubles, 3 home runs. Right now, somebody's got to check if Juan Yepes has morphed from man to machine.
You know, there was a guy that played first base in St. Louis for a long time they called the Machine.
This ball is hammered. If it's fair, it's gone. But it's not fair. You've got to be kidding me.
Can we get a distance on that, please? Oh, my goodness.
I told you to sit up straight.
That's the foul ball of the year.
Put that thing in the Louvre. Oh, man. You talk about close. Oh, my goodness.
If I'm Kyle Nelson and Evan, hard-hitting analysis here, I'm not going to throw that pitch again.
He just threw it nowhere near Juan Yepes. I mean, I'm shocked he threw him anything that good. You've got the open bag at first. I don't think Nelson will be giving anything decent to Juan Yepes, but stranger things have happened. People are still buzzing. This one on the ground to third, hit very softly. That is a rocket from Nolan Jones. 2 gone in the 7th. And Juan Yepes, after inches away from his second home run of the night, grounds out to third. So Kyle Nelson, I'm sure his heart leapt into his throat on that foul ball. It's probably receded back into his chest by now. Now he gets to face a left-handed hitter, Alec Burleson. Faced Gorman a couple of batters ago, and he struck out the lefty. Threw him a first-pitch breaking ball, and I'd imagine, Justin, that's going to be the exact same recipe against Burleson. A lot of breaking stuff, a lot of slow stuff. It's so tough for lefties to hit a lefty like this, Nelson, out of the bullpen. Former 15th round pick out of UC Santa Barbara. He's a former Gaucho. Down in center for a base hit. Robertson coming around third. And the throw's cut off. RBI single for Alec Burleson. A sweet left-handed stroke. And 9 unanswered for the Redbirds.
That's a beautiful piece of hitting by Alec Burleson. Takes that pitch right back where it came from. Smoked up the middle, and a good jump off second base by Robertson. He scores easily. Big insurance run for the Birds going down the stretch.
Now 8 of the 9 Redbirds batters in their starting lineup tonight have hits, including this guy. Mendoza singled in the 3rd. The only man not to have a hit tonight is on deck. It's Connor Capel, and he had a line drive that was caught on a dive at first base back in the 2nd inning. 11 hits tonight for the Redbirds. 0-2 against Mendoza. Mendoza struck out swinging against Hergit his last time up. Mendoza stays alive. You know, Gauchos, the nickname for Kyle Nelson's alma mater, UC Santa Barbara, is easily a top 5 nickname in collegiate athletics. The only problem is a better nickname is just down the road at UC Santa Cruz. The Banana Slugs. Remember that t-shirt that John Travolta wore in Pulp Fiction? If I had $1 for every time I saw a guy at a party in college wearing that shirt, I'd have several dollars. Short leadoff first for Burleson. He's not looking to steal. He just drove in Robertson. Good pitch. Nelson buries the breaking ball, and Mendoza goes fishing. Insurance for the Redbirds and a 3-run lead as the Clippers are down to their last 6 outs. The lights shining bright at AutoZone Park on a night where it's been fun to be a Redbirds fan. If you like hitting, welcome to this game. Memphis has scored the last 9. They've got a 9-6 lead, and Seth Elledge is back out to pitch the 8th. The right-hander, formerly of Dallas Baptist, just worked a 1-2-3 7th. Now he faces 6, 7, 8 in the 8th. Benson, Monasterio, Rivera, the 3 scheduled batters. Even better news to report to you, Memphis just got an insurance run in the bottom of the 7th inning when Alec Burleson slapped a single into center that scored Kramer Robertson. Wave and a miss for Will Benson. Since his RBI triple in the 1st inning, he struggled tonight. A couple of strikeouts, both at the hands of Connor Thomas. Thomas gets the start tonight for Memphis, goes 4 1/3 and gives up 10 hits, 6 runs. He did have 6 strikeouts, which is a pretty good strikeout number for Thomas. He's more of a pitch-to-contact guy. After that, Tommy Parsons went an inning and 2/3, scoreless and hitless. And now Seth Elledge hoping to build upon a 1-2-3 seventh. Keeps nibbling at that outer edge. Will Benson keeps taking it. And Travis Godek keeps calling balls. Now it's 3-1.
You know, Evan, Cody Whitley went back up to the major leagues today for the Cardinals. He had been sort of the pseudo-closer of late for the Redbirds. Last night, Jesus Cruz got the save. Seth Elledge has already gotten 3 outs tonight. He's not a guy who's going to go 3 innings, so it'll be interesting to see where Ben Johnson goes to try and finish off this win.
Especially considering he brought in Jesus Cruz in the 9th last night. Benson swings and misses. You totally brought that up, didn't you?
I started with the sentence with Jesus Cruz got the save last night.
Yeah.
Hat trick for Benson. Again, chasing the high fastball. Seen it a lot tonight. And Seth Elledge has had struggles at times this year, but he looks very sharp tonight.
Yes, he does. A lot sharper than my memory skills, that's for sure. I formally apologize, Justin.
It's all right.
Did I mention it's been a long homestand? Andrew Monasterio takes ball 1. Birds are playing their 11th game out of 12. All in a row at home. They took 4 out of 6 from Nashville last week, and if they hang on tonight, they'll be up 3-2 in this series against Columbus. Big hack for Monasterio. Redbirds are going to be on the road the next couple of weeks starting Tuesday. They'll be in Gwinnett at the Braves affiliate next week. And the week after that, they're at Nashville for the final time this year. Nashville's the closest opponent for Memphis, and they only played them 3 times this year. Go figure. In case you missed the news, earlier this week, the Redbirds announced their 2022 schedule. 114 of the games will be against division opponents. So there will be a lot of visits from Durham, Gwinnett, Jacksonville, Nashville, Norfolk, and Charlotte. But Omaha and Iowa make their returns to AutoZone Park next year. Strike on the outside corner, and the count's even on Monasterio. Andrew wasn't exactly a fan of that call. Two. Fouled off by Monasterio. He spells his first name like the former great outfielder for the Atlanta Braves, Andrew Jones. Monasterio spells his name Andruw. I would like to buy a vowel. Four up and 4 down for Elledge. 1 strike away from 5 up and 5 down. Shallow center, down in front of Capel. That's the 3rd hit of the night for Monasterio. He has singled in the 3rd, 5th, and 8th.
Looks like Elledge left that breaking ball just a little bit up. And that's the difference between a ground out and a base hit into center field. Now you face Rivera, who's certainly a double play candidate. We saw that earlier in the ball game. But you're facing 8-9 in the order here. You would like this inning to be over before you get to that heart of the Columbus lineup.
This is a base hit into right. Monasterio goes station to station, stopping at second. Mike Rivera, who entered this week between AA and AAA, batting 174. He has a hit tonight, a hit in each of the 3 games he's appeared in. Combine that with his great defense behind home plate, and he's been really, really good this week for Columbus. Speaking of being very, very good for Columbus, here's Connor Maribel, who's singled and tripled tonight. He has 2 hits in each of the first 5 games now in this series. In case you're wondering, the power numbers for Connor Maribel this season, entering the week, 17 doubles, 6 home runs, doubled on Tuesday, doubled on Wednesday, tripled tonight back in the 3rd inning. And that right there is a manager, Ben Johnson, who knows this game is far from over.
Yeah, these are the type of games where I would say it would make your hair fall out, but Ben keeps it nice and trim near the dome, so you can't use that phrase.
An excellent idea when it's as hot as it is in Memphis. When the hair gets long, things just get warmer. Hair also grows quicker when it's warm out. At least that's what they tell me. How are you attacking Maribel here, Justin?
Yeah, I think you want the ball down, right? He's shown the ability to hit pitches around the letters this week, and you're looking for a ground ball double play to get out of this inning. He's struggled with breaking balls down and in, so if you're Elledge, I think that's the spot to attack it.
Here could be your double play ball. 4, 6. Now they throw to 5. Monasterio's safe. That was a smart decision. Hit too softly to turn 2. So Rivera out at second. Monasterio at 3rd. Maribel at 1st. 2 gone in the 8th. That's the good news. The bad news is top of the lineup due for Columbus. But more good news. The guy at the plate now, Alex Call, he's 0 for 4. There's your numbers this year for the former Ball State Cardinal. Chance for him to turn around his night. And he does. Base hit right field. Monasterio scores. Maribel to 3rd. And just like that, the tying run is on the base paths. The single for Call makes it 9-7.
Another hit on a first pitch of an at-bat for a Columbus hitter. We've seen a lot of that tonight. Elledge hung a breaking ball, and a good job shooting it the other way by Call. Look, you're in a spot right now for the Birds where your bullpen's stretched a little bit thin, like we talked about, losing Whitley to the major leagues today. A couple guys have gone extended innings this week. So you're asking a little more out of guys than you normally would. And it seems like Elledge is starting to get a little tired up at 29 pitches now.
Yeah, he breezed through a 1-2-3 7th. Certainly labored here in the 8th. Since getting Benson to strike out to start the inning, Monasterio singled, Rivera singled, Maribel grounded into a fielder's choice, Call singled, and really, Justin, this is your last batter, quote-unquote, that you feel good about facing. Brooks is just 1 for 4 tonight. Then you get to the 3rd batter, Gonzalez, the 4th batter, Jones, the 5th batter, Arias, who honestly have killed you all week. That's Brandon Dixon getting loose in the pen. When he enters, we'll find out. Biggest at-bat of the game is right here and now. Ball 1 to Brooks. He reached on a check swing, excuse me swing, infield single down the 3rd base line in the 2nd inning. Along with that, he's grounded out twice and struck out tonight. Runner at 3rd, Maribel. Runner at 1st, Call. They both have pretty good speed. Call has double-digit stolen bases this season. Elledge trying to slow him down out there. Two 2-0 to Trenton Brooks. He's had success this week, a couple of doubles on Wednesday night. The last 2 nights, he's been held in check. A combined 0 for 8 the last 2 nights. Did drive in a run with a sacrifice fly back in the 4th inning last night. Liner to shallow left and down for a base hit. Plummer fields it on a hop. Maribel in to score. 9-8 ball game. And you wonder how much longer Seth Elledge will remain on the mound.
That one not really hit hard. Looked like a fastball that got in on Brooks' hands. And he just muscles it into left. And now, Jornier Roscoe, the pitching coach, out to the mound to talk with Elledge. So when you start sliding to the front of your seat and your stomach starts turning a little bit, felt a little comfortable about 15 minutes ago, and now you're in a tough spot. And we always talk about how important are insurance runs. Without that RBI single from Burleson last inning, we'd have a tie game right now.
And you do feel like Elledge is running out of gas here a little bit. Conference about to be broken up. Here comes Oscar Gonzalez, who is hitless tonight. Did walk and score a run in the 1st inning, but Justin, with a guy like this, Oscar Gonzalez, as everybody at home can see on the screen, good batting average for him this year. Feels like he's due. He's got a hit in each of the last 4 games in this series. Dixon's still getting loose out there. We'll find out together when he comes in.
And you talked about this, I believe, last night or 2 nights ago. With a guy who's as good of a hitter as Oscar Gonzalez, you're almost more concerned when he comes into an at-bat 0 for 3 because you feel like a night's not going to go by without him getting a hit.
A confident, potent hitter who has homered twice this week. Ball 1. Again, Elledge pitched a clean 7th, but the 8th here has not been kind to him. 4 singles for the Clippers. Have produced a couple of runs. Made all Redbirds fans here at the park tonight get a little queasy. Gonzalez was going for a home run on that swing. That was a big wave and a miss. "23-year-old from the Dominican. Split this season between AA Akron and AAA Columbus. Wherever he's been, he's hit the baseball. Another big wave and a miss. Seth Elledge, 1 strike away from finally ending the top of the 8th. "22 home runs this year for Oscar Gonzalez between AA and AAA. Can Elledge snuff him out? Not on that pitch. 36 of them now for Seth. Call at second, Brooks at first. Call has excellent speed. Pretty much any base hit to the outfield is scoring him. And in the process, it would tie the game. Everybody take a breath. Got him. Chase the high heat. Elledge throws it by Gonzalez. And the Redbirds still lead as we go to the bottom of the 8th. Almost 9:30 on a Saturday night at AutoZone Park. If you like pitching, this is not the game for you. If you like offense, congratulations. Welcome to the party. It's Memphis 9, Columbus 8. As we go to the bottom of the 8th, the Clippers just scored a couple of times in the top of the 8th, so this ball game certainly is still within their grasp. It's on Kyle Nelson right now, facing the bottom of the Redbirds lineup and a couple of lefties to boot, to set him down and get his offense back to the plate with a chance to tie the game, if not take the lead. It's a quiet night for Connor Capel so far. A couple of flyouts and a ground out. Left-handed hitter who has had trouble against left-handed pitching all week. Check swing, and he goes. 1-1 to Connor Capel. Couple of guys from opposite ends of the country. Connor Capel, a proud Texan. Kyle Nelson from California. Another swing and a miss. Capel, Ortega, Donovan, the three scheduled for Memphis here in the 8th. Ortega, the right-hander, is on deck, and then another lefty, Brendan Donovan, after that. Shallow center, and down for a base hit. Good for you, Connor Capel. That was not a half-bad pitch from Nelson, but Capel did him one better. His first hit of the night. Every single Redbird has a hit tonight. That's not a half-bad pitch. Low and on the outer half, just a better plate approach from Connor Capel. Almost a short pseudo half swing. And the leadoff guy on for the Redbirds. Here's Ortega. Line drive, base hit. It almost hit the running Capel. Connor's on his way to third. And the Redbirds are cooking again. It's a two-hit night for Dennis Ortega.
Second baseman, number 47, Brendan Donovan.
That's a screaming hard line drive. Capel was almost the unfortunate beneficiary of a hit and run gone awry. Ortega's fired up. How can he not be? It is a 13-hit night for the Redbirds. 27 hits combined between these two teams tonight. It has been a slugfest. Base hit, Brendan Donovan. Capel in to score. Back to back to back singles have given the Redbirds a 2-run cushion.
Now batting for your Redbirds, left fielder, number 27, Nick Plummer.
That's impressive against a left-hander. Donovan hacking away on the first pitch. That is the attack plan for the Redbirds in this inning. And now the top of the lineup is due. And a chance to make this lead all the more larger. Plummer scored a couple of times tonight, hit by a pitch in the third, doubled in the fourth. A man who has been through his own struggles since being drafted in the first round. He's up in AAA, and he is proving this week that he deserves to be here. Tonight is potentially his third two-hit game of the week. Got to get a hit here. Got a piece of it, and now down to the count. Capel, Ortega, Donovan have all singled here in the 8th. Capel's to center, Ortega's and Donovan's both to right. And the Redbirds add insurance. You just need it in a game like this. 2-2 to Plummer. Another guy from an opposite area of the country. as Kyle Nelson. Plummer's from Michigan. Banner career at Brother Rice High in the suburbs of Detroit. Got picked 23rd overall by the Cardinals. Guy who was almost off the prospect radar entering this year. Had a great campaign at Springfield. And he is firmly back on everybody's radar. Stays alive in this at-bat.
And you think about it, right? We touched on this a little earlier, but Nick Plummer's 25 years old. Any of you watching this game, think about where you were when you were 25 years old. You still had room to get better, right? You weren't at your peak yet.
I like to think I'm still not at my peak. That's another good at-bat for Nick Plummer. He works a walk. The Birds have him loaded with nobody out in the eighth, with the meat of their lineup coming. They have got a chance to bust the door down.
This is an intriguing situation. 4 hits for Robertson, who's up now. Gorman's gone deep. He's next. Yepes, grand slam. He's up after that. This is a fun couple minutes that might be on our radar here.
Kramer Robertson, who's about to come to the plate whenever Rigo Beltran ends the mound conference. He has 4 hits, 2 runs scored, 2 runs driven in. Then Gorman, who's homered. Then Yepes, who hit a grand slam. Did I do it again?
Almost word for word.
I'm losing it. I don't know what more to say.
Now batting for your Redbirds, third baseman
Wow.
number 3, Kramer Robertson.
Again, I'm sorry. I'm losing it. I don't know what to say.
It's okay.
Let's just focus on baseball.
Ooh.
Ball 1 to Kramer. That almost hit him. 3 singles and a walk have a run across in this inning for Memphis. And they're not done by any stretch of the imagination. 2-0 to Kramer Robertson.
And putting aside how good this offensive performance is for trying to seal a win tonight, it's also accomplished what we talked about earlier, right? This bullpen that is going to have to be used a ton tomorrow is being taxed excessively tonight.
Arias flips to third, and they get the runner there. Donovan is out. Does produce a run, though. Ortega is in to score. That was a good play all over the place. Robertson, for the first time tonight, does not have a hit. He does have an RBI, and the Birds' lead is 3.
Yeah, good job by Kramer to get that run in, but that is such a good play by Arias and Jones. That could have been a disaster. And those two made it look pretty easily.
So after all of that, Plummer's at second. Robertson is on first with an RBI fielder's choice groundout. His 3rd run driven in tonight. Let's see if Nolan Gorman can provide one more highlight on a night that's full of them. Tough matchup for the left-handed hitter. He struck out against Nelson in the 7th. Aside from his opposite field home run in the 4th, Nolan has 3 strikeouts tonight. $29-19 combined runs in the game. 28 combined hits. And a 2-0 count to Nolan Gorman. Last Sunday afternoon, Nashville beat Memphis 13-12. I thought it would be a while until we had another game like that. Justin, we had to wait exactly 6 days. This one going to reach the nobody trashes Tennessee Bluffs down the left field line. Look at the sea of kids running after that ball. My goodness. All right, nobody get hurt over there. Be careful. Nolan Gorman, a man of the people on that foul ball. 10 home runs this year in AAA for the 21-year-old super prospect. Guy who has the unique opportunity to play with his old friend Matthew Liberator on the team. Actually living together here in Memphis. All those dreams you had with your buddies when you were 6, 7, 8 years old, we often don't get to live out those dreams. Nolan Gorman, Matthew Liberator, they're living out their dreams this summer. May we all have that chance someday. Shallow center field. Benson charging hard. He makes the catch. Gorman's out. That's the bad news. The good news, Justin, we get to watch Juan Yepez bat one more time.
Now batting for your Redbirds, the Nobody Trenches Tennessee cleanup hitter. First baseman.
A grand slam home run for Juan Yepez in the third. At the time, Memphis was down 6-0. Now they're up by 3. Looking for one final big blow, and will not come against Kyle Nelson. He's being pulled. Columbus goes to the bullpen one more time. And we tell you about it when you come on back on CW30. Third time in this series that Jordan Stevens has come out of the bullpen for Columbus. Memphis has scored 2 more times here in the 8th. Boosted their lead back up to 3. In a ball game in which offense has been the star. 19 combined runs in a game in which Columbus led 6-0. Then the Redbirds scored the next 9. Then Columbus scored twice in this top of the 8th to make it 9-8. And then the Redbirds scored 2 more times so far in this inning. There's the numbers for Stevens, an ERA of 3.52 and 38 1/3. Good strikeout to walk ratio. He pitched on Tuesday in this series, went an inning and a third, scoreless and hitless. On Thursday, he went 1 inning, scoreless. And now he tries to get the final out of the 8th. But it is a big one. It is a hulking, imposing, right-handed batter. Juan Yepez at the plate with a chance to do more damage. Juan hit a grand slam back in the 3rd inning. He got a hanging curveball from Heath Fillmeyer and hit it halfway to Arkansas. Nearly hit another home run in the 7th. A foul ball that was just wide left of the pole. This ball is hammered. Juan Yepez is a monster. Two home runs tonight. 7 RBIs tonight. The man is a cheat code.
You're almost at a loss for words watching this guy play baseball. Hanging breaking ball, destroyed again. Oh my goodness. You know, sometimes in life, you get the opportunity to watch someone just completely turn into a new form of themselves in a way that you didn't expect. Nobody expected this from Juan, and we're seeing it on display every night.
I mean, it is just utterly astounding what he is doing right now. These are AAA baseball players. These are guys, for the most part, who have pitched and played in the major leagues. It's like that scene in Benchwarmers, Justin, where they recruit the guy who is not 12 and he shows the fake birth certificate that says, I am 12. Juan Yepez is that guy in Benchwarmers right now. He's just too good. Burleson pops it up. Jones has got room. And the 8th is over. Juan Yepez just hit another home run. He's driven in 7 tonight. The man is beyond belief. Let's go to the ninth. So you can see on the scoreboard that Memphis is leading this game 14-8. That's crazy. You ready to hear the real crazy one? Juan Yepes has driven in half of those runs. 2 home runs tonight, 7 runs driven in. One of the performances that'll go down in the history of this ballpark, Justin. There have been a lot of great players here at AutoZone Park in the past. There will be many more to come. Right now, Juan Yepes is playing like a Hall of Famer. He just tapped gloves with Brandon Dixon, the new relief pitcher, into the ballgame for the Redbirds. Most importantly, Memphis just scored 5 runs in the 8th and kind of put this thing on ice. A chance for Brandon Dixon to pitch in a low-leverage situation. A guy who struggled his last couple of times out. He does have to face 4, 5, 6 here in the 9th. But the man of the moment, the man of the month, the man of the season is the guy at first, Juan Yepes. My word. Strike 1 to Nolan Jones.
It's just so much fun to watch him play every day. It really, really is. And he is making a name for himself in a way that, people might not have expected coming into this year. He has earned every single thing that's coming to him. And you feel like the future is just so bright for Juan.
It's getting to the point where you're trying on the fly to formulate ways to describe this. You're trying on the fly to make sure you've got all your numbers straight. It's hard to keep it all straight if we're being honest with you. He's hit 3 home runs in the last 2 games. He had 4 doubles on Sunday. It's just astounding. Nolan Jones, by the way, has had a pretty good game. He's walked and singled and scored a couple of runs. Dixon's trying to handle him here. The line in the Casey Musgraves song is, everything that goes up must come down, but I don't want to come down. We never want Juan Yepes to come down with the way he's swinging it. This ball launched to left, and Nolan Jones says goodbye. That's his 13th home run of the year.
I mean, that is a laser to the opposite field. And even though we're hoping that's going to be in vain tonight, Nolan Jones has been incredibly impressive this week.
He entered this week with a batting average of .224. Not exactly statistics that make you go, gee, this guy deserves all the hype and all the praise. Anyone who says that, I'd encourage you to watch the tape of this week. He has been awesome. Speaking of really good weeks, here's Gabriel Arias. He's 3 for 4 tonight. 2-run double back in the first. He scored a couple of runs. Hasn't everybody scored a couple of runs tonight? Cue shot to first. There's Juan Yepes. And the Birds have 2 more outs to go. So Memphis, in their starting 9, every single player had at least 1 hit. That's not the case with Columbus. The only guy not to have a hit tonight is Oscar Gonzalez. But they have 3 different players who have scored at least 2 runs. This guy, Will Benson, drove in a run with a triple back in the first. Other than that, it's been a tough night for Benson. He struck out swinging in his 3 at-bats after the RBI triple in the first. Dixon, the pitcher, and Benson, the batter, are both tall and large guys. You can see it. Benson's 6'5", 230, and Dixon is 6'5", 190. Let's see if Dixon can put him away. There's a joke in here somewhere about once upon a time, Dixon and Benson got lost on the way to the basketball court and found the baseball diamond instead, but let's be honest, that's just too easy a joke, and I'm not going to make it. Benson's a 23-year-old out of Westminster High in Atlanta and climbing up the ranks in the Indian system. Finally found his way to AAA as a former first-rounder. It's a good at-bat for him. Guy who struck out a lot tonight, hanging tough against Dixon. If the Redbirds hang on and win here, they'll have won the last 2 nights and taken a 3-2 lead in the series. Back tomorrow afternoon, 2:05, to try to close her out. Benson nods slowly in approval as he takes that pitch. This is an 8-pitch battle. Somebody's got to win it. Will Benson just did. That ball is gone. His first AAA home run. And the Clippers are not going quietly.
We have seen some crazy baseball games the last 2 weeks. Boy, Benson's been impressive this week, hasn't he? And how about tonight? A triple, 3 strikeouts, and then a home run.
That right there is some pendulum swings. Unfortunately, Alec Burleson's not Peter Parker. He cannot climb the wall there. All right, let's see what Andrew Monasterio has for us. I said it earlier, Justin. I say it again. Honestly, this is the type of game where if they ask you to come in and pitch, I may say no. No, I'll just pitch tomorrow. Not in this one. Everybody's getting ahead. Strike 1 to Monasterio. He has 3 hits tonight. He's singled in each of his last 3 plate appearances. That's a base hit to center. If you're Memphis, you got to be careful here. That's a 4-hit night for Monasterio. It's not often, Justin, that you have a game with players on each team who have 4 hits. Kramer Robertson has 4 hits, and Andrew Monasterio have 4 hits.
Me and you might have one pretty soon.
Yeah. That's 32 combined hits.
I told you it was a good night to hit it.
And yeah, I mean, Justin did say this. It feels like a good night to hit. Credit where credit is due. The man was dead on. Mike Rivera takes strike 1. He singled back in the 8th. Former Florida Gator. He's grounded into a double play tonight. Brandon Dixon's hoping for a repeat. Dixon has had a whirlwind ride over the last year and a half. He was a member of the Cardinals organization up until 2012. He pitched here in Memphis. Then he went off to Japan and pitched for 7 seasons. Came back to the States, pitched with Memphis just long enough to earn a spot on Team USA and go win a silver medal back in Japan in Tokyo. I think it's safe to say that Brandon Dixon is squeezing every last bit of juice out of his baseball career. Someday he's going to be sitting on a rocking chair someday and have a lot of stories to tell his grandkids. I'm sure he's telling his kids these stories already. This is the type of baseball game. If it was an afternoon game, you'd go home and take a nap. After this one, we're all going to go home and faceplant on our pillow. This has been a marathon. It could end it. No, not yet. I spoke too soon. Under Robertson's glove. And Brandon Dixon has work to do. First and second one out.
Anytime a ball gets hit to Kramer, you usually expect it to be an out, no doubt. That one squeaks past him, and you kind of knew the final 3 outs tonight weren't going to be easy. Just couldn't be that way.
This is an error on Kramer. He was thinking the same thing I was. Let's turn 2 and get out of here.
Yeah, just got in between on which hop he wanted to get. And now we'll get a pinch runner over at first base for Columbus. Might be Tyler Krieger over there, I think.
Yeah, that's Krieger, number 12. He is the pinch runner for the catcher, Rivera. Oh, by the way, Connor Maribel's at the plate. He has 2 more hits tonight. He has 2 hits in each game in this series. Ball 1. Again, Justin, I say what I said earlier. After the 13-12 game last Sunday, I did not think we were getting another game like that all year. It happened literally less than a week later. Just wild stuff. Just wild stuff. Strike on the outside corner. So Krieger the pinch runner at first, Monasterio at second, Dixon still hunting a ground ball that could end one of the wildest games of baseball you will ever see. Base hit Connor Maribel, Monasterio coming to the plate, the throw comes to second, and the Clippers, believe it or not, will send the tying man to the plate. In the 9th, they were down by 6. Now it's just 3.
Maribel shoots that the other way, and wow, I mean, has he been impressive or what this week? 3 more hits today. 11 hits in 5 games for a guy who's basically batted 9th every game this week.
Juan Yepes grabs your headlines this week. Certainly grabs them tonight, but Connor Maribel better be on your front page. If you're Dernier Roscoe, Justin, what do you say? I'm serious. This is one of those games where whatever you throw up there, it seems like the other team is attacking.
It's almost one of those where you just go change the subject, talk about something else, right?
Yeah.
I don't know. It is a tough spot.
Well, Jesus Cruz, who earned the save last night. Jesus, get up. We need you. Oh, my goodness. 25 combined runs on 33 combined hits.
That's a lot.
That is the truest thing that Justin Galanti has said all year. Top of the lineup, too. It's Alex Call. An RBI single in the 8th. Columbus scored 2 in the top of the 8th to make it a 9-8 game. Then the Redbirds scored 5 to make it 14-8. Now the Clippers have scored 3 to make it 14-11. Tying man is at the plate. Alex Call does have 10 home runs this year, and he's got really good speed. So turning a double play here at a ground ball is going to be a challenge. Brandon Dixon just trying to get out of this thing and get the Redbirds a win. Within the last week, we have played 2 games that both have had a combined 25 runs. I just realized this. Dixon's 1 strike away from his first strikeout tonight. How good would that feel? Ortega thought about the snap throw to first, but held up. A crowd on a Saturday night at AutoZone Park has been treated to a baseball game that they're probably going to remember forever. It is 14-11, and there is still more to be decided. On the ground to third, Robertson to second. Donovan the stretch, kept the foot on the bag. Krieger in to score. Maribel the out at second. The Redbirds are 1 out away, but the tying run will still come to the plate.
You know, that is such a heady and smart play by Brendan Donovan, as Robertson did not make a good throw there. Could have tried to turn 2 and make that all happen quickly. Donovan just made sure of that 1 out, acting like a first baseman on a throw that sort of looked destined for right field.
Brooks yanks the first pitch foul down the first base line. Does Brandon Dixon have one more out left in that right arm? The Clippers have scored 4 times in the 9th, and with one swing by Brooks, this is a new ball game somehow. Yanked foul. Birds 1 strike away. This game has had 26 runs. This game has had 33 hits. This game has taken 3.5 hours. One of the wildest baseball games we will ever watch. Do the Redbirds finally win it? They're a strike away. They're still a strike away. This crowd wants to win. Making noise on the last Saturday in August. Trenton Brooks does not want to be the last out. Check swing. Did he go? Oh, baby, he did. The throw down to first. And that is one interesting way to end one of the craziest baseball games we will ever watch. Dixon gets Brooks to strike out. And let's all just take a breath. Memphis 14, Columbus 12. We're back to wrap it up after this. To AutoZone Park as we wrap up maybe the wildest baseball game I've ever seen. I don't know about you, but that was an absolutely insane game. Redbirds beat the Clippers 14-12 in a game that featured 33 combined hits. So many home runs I lost count. Juan Yepes hit 2 home runs and had 7 RBIs. Justin, did I forget anything? I'm sure I did.
I mean, that was wild. That was awesome. The Birds coming back from 6-0 down, but then both teams just putting up runs all night, homers on both sides, guys showing out. I know it's easy to look at some of the top prospects on both these rosters. And look, Nolan Gorman hit a home run tonight. Nolan Jones hit a home run tonight. Gabriel Arias had 3 hits. Those are top 100 prospects, but you cannot get past Juan Yepes. He's story number 1, 2, 3, and everything that after that. 2 more long balls, 7 RBIs, as you said, is the most for any Bird in any game this season. And this guy, in the last week, has been unbelievable, but he's been great all season. And he is putting his name at the top of really every future list of potential players to make their way from here up to Busch Stadium.
It's been absolutely awesome to watch Juan Yepes work, and the good news is we get to watch him one more time tomorrow, 2:05 first pitch here at AutoZone Park. We are excited to watch the Redbirds wrap up this series with the Clippers. TJ Zoik gets the start. Justin, Memphis has been home for 2 weeks now. They won their series last week against Nashville. Chance to do it again tomorrow.
Yeah, and it's going to be interesting to see what Zoik does in a starting role. He started earlier this year in a different organization in the Toronto system, but he was exclusively working out of the bullpen for the Birds. last week after a short start on Sunday, he went 4 innings in an extended relief role. There was an injury in the starting rotation, and he gets a start tomorrow. And after what happened tonight, he's going to have to get some outs, give the Birds some length.
If you need Justin or I before tomorrow's game, we'll be sleeping. But we will be here for a 2:05 first pitch tomorrow. Would love to see you here at the ballpark. That does it for us tonight here on CW30. For our entire Memphis Redbirds staff and our awesome production crew, Evan Stockton saying good night. Redbirds 14, Clippers 12 in a game that we'll never forget. Thanks for watching Redbirds Baseball on CW30.